Fight, 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 fight.
Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Ricada of Ricada Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And with me today is a very special guest, that umbrella guy.
Hey there. How's it going, man?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Except, like I said, I had to nap like an old man before I could stay up late with the Ricada Law.
Yeah, I was supposed to nap like an old man, and then I couldn't because every time I went to lay down, I realized I had something else to do. So I was like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. The past 2 nights I've had like 2.5 hours of sleep each.
Well,
Why?
That's what you have when you live the internet life with like 7 dozen children.
Yeah. Yep. That's basically it. And your sleep schedule's screwed up, and you're covering various things. Like I was covering the Theeeere Edgecombe sentencing hearing today, which ended up being a little bit breaded, if I have to say so myself. He only got 25 years, which I disagree with. I think you shoot a man in the face on purpose. Like 25 years just seems a little bit light to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I could see that.
But anyway, we're not here to discuss silly things like Theeeere Edgecombe. We're not here to discuss the sexual degeneracy that is flamenco's hentai fetish list. We are here to discuss a different type of degeneracy altogether, and that is the horrific depths of depravity of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And the pending
It is
lawsuit.
definitely something, man. It is definitely something.
Yeah, you've been mixed up in this story forever. Like the whole time, all through it. You've done tons of videos on it, been following it. You're named in the lawsuit. Like you are the villain.
Yep, 3 times. 3 times so far.
So I'm hoping you can catch me up on what's been going on. Kind of, we'll get a backstory about what there is, because there were multiple lawsuits. There were lawsuits on different continents even, and so it's like I need to get a grip on what's happening in this one, because this is the one going to trial. It's going to trial. Technically starts Monday, but I think the live streaming of it is supposed to start Tuesday.
Right.
And it's it's gonna be something. It's gonna be a spectacle for sure.
It's gonna, yeah, it's gonna be a spectacle that not just impacts them. It's gonna impact Warner. Warner Discovery. They just merged, and the merger kicks next week. So yeah, it's gonna have a lot of impact. It's gonna be a beautiful shit show.
Right, and this is part of the barometer that we're seeing. We're seeing more and more of these. I don't know if this counts as a Me Too, because it's not the same vein, right? Like it's not sexual assault allegations, it's spousal abuse or boyfriend, whatever it is.
She used Me Too, at first. Me Too, interestingly enough, Me Too turned against her. It was the first time I've seen someone attach themselves, try to use, accusations against a man, and Me Too was like, nah, we actually don't believe you. It was
you're in a bad spot if Me Too isn't taking your shit.
exactly. When they're like, nah, you're too fucked up even for us.
Yeah, you don't meet our very stringent standards over here at the Me Too. Good Lord.
Yeah. When someone won't listen and believe you in a listen and believe movement, you are pretty fucked.
Right. So anyway, so she starts with Me Too, and we'll get into the whole story. But long story short, I mean, this is part of a chain of what we're seeing, where people are being, particularly men, are being accused of something, particularly by women, and they're in the entertainment industry, and they're just they're shredded immediately. Like there's no response time, there's nothing. And we're seeing this a lot. Not all the cases are the same, they're not all equal. Obviously, they're varying levels of accuracy of the claims. But we're seeing Johnny Depp is fighting back, Marilyn Manson's fighting back. Of course, Vic Mignogna fought back on his, and we're seeing this stuff pop up more and more. And so I'm just super interested to see how this turns out, because I think that every one of these cases that comes up is the barometer for how these things will go. And if someone actually wins one of these damn things,
yes,
it's gonna, I mean, that person screaming, remember the Trump no scream when Trump won? Like, that will be all of women in Hollywood, and it'll be glorious. It'll be very funny. So I'm watching for that. That's what I want to know. But this one is juicy too on its own.
Oh, it is, definitely. And with this, a lot of people look at that and they dismiss because of celebrity, because of the size of someone's wallet. And ultimately, it takes a fat fucking wallet to fight these types of accusations. If I had to fight this off, or you, I don't know, maybe you can make it rain Prius money. So again, maybe you can fight that off. But us normal mortals over here, we can't fight it off.
But yet, like we joke, but like Prius money. So we're talking. It was a Sentra, by the way.
Sentra, my bad.
It was a Sentra. Sentras are cheaper than Priuses. Let's be clear. But let's say it is a Prius. I mean, you're talking about a hearing. One hearing is a car, and that's getting out cheap. The Johnny Depp will have spent millions of dollars on this lawsuit by the end of it. And normal mere mortals, financial mortals, cannot afford to do these things. And that's what they bank on with all of this, is that the pain of the lawsuits, the pain of the process itself, is enough to keep people from ever challenging the accusation. So if you can make the accusation destroy the person, and then you're insulated from the lawsuit by just how damn much it costs to do them, well, then you've got a victory. You've got a formula to destroy with relative impunity. And they've been using this. They is not any particular group or anything like that. It's just the people who do this. Whenever a person decides to go after someone, they use it, and they know that they're probably not going to get sued just because the sheer fucking cost of it.
Well, if we're being honest, this is a problem that it overwhelmingly is pointed at men. So
right.
Yeah. So I mean, that's not saying, hey, every woman will do this, but damn, men are suffering at it. Again, it's got to stop. And you were talking about cost. I saw a total so far with the UK case and all of this at around 6 million so far, and we're not on the courtroom. That's fucking crazy, man.
Just the $6 million.
Yeah.
That's all. And so
measly.
Depp's about to go to trial. The trial is expected to be 6 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
So you're talking 6 weeks at 5 days a week. So you got 30 days, 8 hours a day. You've probably got between 2 and 4 lawyers in the courtroom. Your Johnny Depp's counsel is probably $1,000 an hour per lawyer. It's unreal amounts of money that are going into this stuff. You're talking $15,000-$20,000 a day for 30 days. And that's just for the in courtroom time. That doesn't count any motions that they have to do after a particular day, anything that comes up, any research that's been going into this, any of the trial prep, their opening statement. The lawyer delivering the opening statement is going to be rehearsing that opening statement the day before for 7-8 hours at least, putting it together, writing it. Like the cost that goes into this stuff is astronomical. And so, yeah, he's 6 million in now. By the time his trial's done, that's going to be 7 million plus. Then you got appeals. which could stretch out into, for years.
And
So,
counterclaim, she actually, we were talking about Vic Mignogna. Well, the free speech, that the whole anti-slap free speech thing has been debated ad nauseum through this. And even though her counterclaim, she put this in a document, by the way. This amazed me. He sues her for $50 million. She says, well, I'm going to counterclaim. I'm going to sue you for $100 million. Why? Because that's twice what you sued me for.
she wrote that down.
Yes, it is.
God.
It is in the document. It is. Oh my God, it's amazing, and it's been torn apart. Like she, in her original claim, she used the Russian bot defense. Oh well, he has an army of Russian bots, and she hired a
Yes.
company called Bot Sentinel who likes to go after conservatives online to track anyone that mentioned her in a quote unquote negative way. They identified 16,000 accounts and they were going to try to dox them all. They started with 200. They presented it to Twitter saying, we want the information for these 200 users. We want where they signed in, where they created their account. So they wanted, where you live, like if
Yeah.
you went to your mama's house at Christmas. But they got shot down for that. So.
Damn it. I wish I would have said more negative stuff about her on Twitter.
well, they've about faced. So you were talking about mentioning like myself. After they were told no by Twitter and that got shut down, they just dropped that. Nope, no more bots. What it is Johnny Depp and his lawyer Adam Waldman have been in contact with the media and specific social media accounts, and they named myself and 2 other people. They were like, those are the bad guys.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, you wouldn't want to be in contact with media or social media as a celebrity. Like, no, that would be, that seems crazy. Like, why would any celebrity who's even especially one in a public trial, why would they ever contact media or social media? No one's ever heard of that.
Well, they also act like they couldn't have made contact with anyone. I've said many times, like I will take information from everyone, but I won't sell my voice to anyone. That's the thing that they want to misrepresent in the courtroom. Hell yeah, the fucking DMs are open. I would have been glad to make fun of what they had to say. I mean, to listen to what they said.
Yeah. Listen very intently at what they have to say.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And of course, like Amber Heard can bitch all day about who Johnny Depp is contacting or allegedly contacting. It doesn't really matter because she's in contact with media, or she's starring in movies still. Like she has contact with media organizations, production companies, whoever she wants at any given moment. And so, but this is the weapon, right? It's the weapon that's used. And again, we're talking about particularly against men, men with something to take. The weapon is to prevent them from speaking. They're not allowed to. You can't defend yourself, because if you defend yourself, you're not listening to victims. You're not respecting the sanctity of their accusation or whatever nonsense it is. You're being insensitive. You're being patriarchal. Whatever silencing language can be used to prevent the response. And then if you dare contact anyone, it's like, oh, he's circling alt-right circles or whatever. They use anything to discredit the ability for someone to try and just grab a rope while they're drowning.
Well, you need some. I've never seen the media act like they have with this. To give you an example, body cam footage came out after years. It was supposed to be lost, and it definitively shows that a lot of these accusations are bullshit. But TMZ, the same place that would cover a celebrity eating a bagel, they turned it down. They would not take that body cam footage, and that's fucked up. It tells you something else is going on behind the scenes. And if you watch the media for 4 years, they report it one way. That one way, of course, is up. She's stunning and brave. She's a victim. We're gonna back her.
And she even has the wealthiest, most powerful simp in the world in her corner, right?
Yeah.
The Elon Musk,
Yep.
right? Buying
That's
Twitter. Wouldn't it be great if he bought Twitter just to ban every account that ever spoke negatively about Amber Heard? That would be like that'd be like
simp.
that'd be the simp move you could respect.
Yeah.
So Elon gets in the first board meeting. He's like, okay, guys, I've got a list of 200 names from Amber Heard's attorneys. We need these fuckers down.
Well, Johnny Depp's lawyer got banned, and that was a lot of the talk. Jack Murphy, or not Jack Murphy, my bad, the other Jack from Twitter. He was buddies with Elon, so that was the whole talk. That's how you get the guy banned right here. He was a lawyer. He was talking about facts in a case. Got to get that asshole out of here now.
What was he banned for? Did they reinstate him or
No, they permanently banned him, and not just that. So they were in talks with. I have the communications from sources. I would say I have the communications between Twitter and the lawyer, and also they were supposed to set up an account for Johnny Depp. Well, they were like, yeah, we'll set it up. If you look up at Johnny Depp, it shows it as suspended. So they listed
They set up an account and then suspended it for him. It was very nice of them.
And it looks like cause, like he did something wrong.
Yeah, of course. Like that's how they always do it, right? Yeah. Because that's the trick of social media bans. It's the social ostracization and shame attached to them that is placed upon the person. You get banned. Well, oh my God, they had to do so. Did they threaten to shoot up a kitten factory or whatever? Like it's something awful has to be done. That's how they present it. But turns out if you just call Amber Heard fat or something, you can be gone. But the lawyer what could I can't imagine that guy doesn't, his social media is anything other than relatively straight laced. Like there's no idea.
Well, she put this in a document, and it's really funny how it reads, because it's the same document that talks about, like, it actually, here's how it reads. As part of the campaign to smear Amber Heard, Waldman, that would be the lawyer, and Johnny Depp contacted media, social media, lists a few people, including myself, and then it says, Mr. Waldman regularly tweeted about the facts of this case, the counterclaim and Miss Heard, until his Twitter account was revoked for life for his conduct. So, wait, for talking about the facts of the case? That's what you just said in the lawsuit. Okay, that's good. So, yeah.
Wow. What? Yeah, for his conduct.
Yeah,
I can only imagine that he was dropping the spiciest of banter on Twitter as look, I've seen lawyer banter on Twitter. Like there's this one attorney on Twitter who just has the most embarrassing tweets. They're never any good, but he thinks he's really funny, and like thinks he's an edgelord, but he's not. Attorney Tom, of course, just has his garbage Twitter account. It's really pathetic. But yeah, lawyers are not funny on Twitter. I've seen plenty of them, and they're not edgy, and they're not cool. They think they are. They're like, I defend free speech. Watch me say the dangerous thing. Biden shouldn't be president. It's like, whoa, watch out.
Yeah, we saw plenty of those lawyers thinking they were really funny with the Vic Mignogna stuff. It's like, oh my God.
No, they're an embarrassment to humanity. They're an embarrassment to lawyers, which is worse than being an embarrassment to humanity. But anyway, we're dwelling on that too much. Well, hey, let me get a couple of these early chats, and then we'll get into the facts of what's been going on, like what the basis of these claims are, how it's different from the UK case, which Johnny Depp lost the UK case rather dramatically.
Right.
And there's some interesting stuff. Oh yeah, like actually, one of the funny things was, didn't Amber Heard's lawyers try like a really retarded thing and say that because this UK case didn't work out for Johnny Depp, the US case should be dismissed?
Yes. They tried four times. Four times this case dismissed, actually. Yeah, and that was
right. And I think the judge eventually like put up a big neon sign that says, "You are retarded. English law does not control American law at all. And anybody who thinks that English law has an impact on American law is a fucking idiot."
They went even further than that. She said that since Heard wasn't a party in the case, the judge has to decide if you can take what she says to task. She alleged 14 incidents. Well, the judge would not let Depp's team go after her. So the judge went as far as to say it was not a fair trial.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't. I mean, if you watch that UK case, it was crazy. I mean, they had her dead to rights. They had
Right.
her admitting to lying, and the judge is like, yeah, whatever. No, it's credible. It's like, no, she says that it wasn't true, and that's why I think this case is going to be interesting because all of that stuff is potentially, um, is going to be, it was all said under oath or whatever in the UK, so all of that stuff is technically fair game.
That
They can bring it all up.
that judge in the UK trial too. So the judge before he was whatever their highest position judge, he was a partner with the firm that represented Amber Heard. His wife would go out and do different types of charities with Amber Heard. His son worked for he worked with Dan Wooten, who was one of the guys. It was the NGN group and Dan Wooten that were on trial. So he was a
Yeah.
co-worker of him. But hey, there was
No big
nothing
deal.
weird about it. Yeah.
Well, that's his son, though. I mean, that's not like it's him, and it's his wife. Yeah, I mean, these aren't even close relations, really.
Not even people. What are we talking about? Kids and wives. Shit.
Yeah. Okay, let me hit these early chats, and then we will get into this. Let me. Damn it. God, you'd think I'd know how to do this at some point, like I'd have mastered this, but I will never. Let's see. Teredo says, Nick, please toast to my many compatriots laid slain by the sword of someone who hasn't touched grass in ages, including Tommy B and Eddie G. Okay. I have no idea the references with Tommy B and Eddie G, but people keep bringing them up. They must have been very important figures in the lives of so many. So hold on. So to Tommy B and Eddie G, slain by the sword of someone who hasn't touched grass, the concrete warrior, the carpet commando, but not the grass gorilla. So cheers to them, and may their souls rest in the Elysian fields of eternity. Richard Grubber says, I have not seen many of Depp's films, Fear and Loathing in Edward Scissorhands, so I hope you keep the obscure references to a minimum. I don't plan on doing a lot of inside Depp jokes.
No, I don't.
I wouldn't know many of them. Edward Scissorhands is a masterpiece. We'll say that. Angry Baneling says, I just want everyone to know that Amber Heard is not a natural redhead. That is all. That is the message. Good night. Is that true, Tug? Is Amber Heard not a natural redhead?
Nope, not at all. Sad stuff. Well, I mean, that's why she can't be replaced in Hollywood, I guess. You know, if she were a redhead.
Right. Yeah, if she were a redhead, she'd already be replaced by a black woman.
Yep.
Preferable, by the way. Baffled Buffoon says, my birthday is Sunday. Care to do an early toast to me, a fat failure who has accomplished nothing in 31 years, has 0 friends, and no future. Thanks. Wow. Tug, you want to dissect that one? We need to take a mental health break for Baffled Buffoon. To Baffled Buffoon, a man who is going to be 31 years old and has expressed, I think, a sentiment common amongst many men turning 31 years old. You have lived a life in which you have worked and struggled and strived, and oftentimes feel unaccomplished, off track, without direction. But let me tell you that despite all of that, all of your perceived failures are actually just building blocks to a skyscraper of success. And when it manifests, you'll look down and you'll say, oh, I thought I was screwing up this whole time, but you weren't. You were just doing what everybody has to do. Work. And that work will pay off, brother. Stick with it. And you probably have more friends than you know. Cheers, man. Happy birthday. Jorby Jimson says, hey, Nick, I can't watch the whole stream tonight, but I hope you can celebrate with me I'm home visiting my folks because my mother had a very successful surgery to remove a cancerous melanoma in her sinus cavity. Cheers. Hey, cheers. That is great.
Hell yeah. Positive.
Beating cancer is always good.
Hell yeah.
You have some experience with that, right?
Oh hell yeah. You know, it's the best. It's the best feeling afterwards. You're like, fuck yes. I'm gonna eat steak, get fat, not give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes.
That's right. Ghost 5103 says, "Hey Nick, please end slow mode. Chat is frustrated. They can't comment on things as subject changes. Slow mode is literally 10 seconds. The sole purpose of slow mode is to eliminate the mods from doing anything, because they're all horrible people. And the only rule in chat is no spamming. So it's 10 seconds. I don't think the subjects change that fast. So no, I'm going to keep it on. And again, it's because when I take slow mode off and the mods have to like fix the spamming, everybody bitches about the mods.
Yep.
And look, mods have enough problems. One, they're all gay. Two, they're not people. And three, they're all just a step away from being so morbidly obese that they die immediately. So they have hard enough lives. They don't need me shitting on them even more. My room record says, oh, what was that?
I was
Sorry.
gonna say, can't confirm I have a wrench, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's how these are just facts. It's like watching one of those nature shows. Here we go. My room record sent me a message on Facebook and he asked me to read it. Here we go. He says, "My daughter's health is doing well, but Oregon is trying to get her vaxxed to get procedures done. I'm an MBA with an accounting and construction management experience. I generated over $200,000 profit for my company in 2021. If you are an employer in a pro-freedom state who wants someone passionate about success and the drive to make your business a success, email me at info@myroomrecords.com. Guys, this is My Room Records. This is who composed the Whiskey Drinking Lawyer and the Whiskey Peeing Lawyer songs, composed and performed them. He's a talented musician, but he also obviously has other skills as well. And he's looking for a relocation outside of a shitty communist state for the health of his daughter. So if anybody out there has anything, info@myroomrecords.com. Please go ahead and send him an email. That'd be amazing. Rescue Michigan says, "Sorry, it's off topic, but cheers for the verdicts in the Whitmer entrapment case." Well, we're not really on we're not fully on topic yet, so this is good. Too bad 2 defendants will have to fight on, but could have been worse. Good day for justice, but we're going to fight like hell for Lucas Gerhard. Yes. Did you hear about that, Tug? The Whitmer verdicts?
No.
So you remember the plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So the one guy pled guilty a little while ago. He got 6 years. The other 4 guys in the plot that weren't feds, there were like 10 feds and 5 people. The other 4 guys all went to trial and their verdicts came in today. 2 of them completely not guilty, and the other 2 hung juries.
Oh, wow.
Because the government obviously was entrapping these people. Like it was plainly fucking obvious. So they set up a false flag to do this thing and to basically enshrine Whitmer as an institution in fucking Michigan for as long as possible. And it backfires on them catastrophically. And now it just comes out. The feds were the ones plotting the kidnapping, and these guys got wrapped up in it. And good. That thing smelled worse than Amber Turd from the start. And yes, Lucas Gerhard, man, that guy, that poor kid. When is his shit going to ever be over? NGE fan 76 says, "Had to sit through a substance abuse lecture at my law school today. Did you know 21% of lawyers admitted to a drinking problem? The other 79% took the fifth of vodka and drank it. Thanks for the show, Rags." I've no idea what anybody's talking about with lawyers and drinking problems. Who's ever heard of that? Everybody always tells me that it's very unprofessional to see a lawyer drinking. I'm like, oh, you haven't met any. Blotty Blah says, so now that two of these guys in the governor's case were acquitted, can they now testify for the defense of the other two when they are retried? I mean, yeah, they can do. Yeah, they're out, so they could testify however they want. They don't need protection. They cannot be charged again for that. So that's good stuff for them. Drew Prescott says, do you enjoy cigars? If so, which? I love them. I do enjoy cigars. But I could not tell you like what cigars I particularly enjoy or don't enjoy. Same with whiskey. Like I like to try different stuff. It's fine for me. I like the gay cigars that Vic likes, the Cuba acid cigars that are really sweet, but I also like, regular old smoky Dominican cigars. I haven't had an actual Cuban cigar, but looking forward to trying one of those sometime. But I try to keep those to be a minimal sort of thing. I don't smoke them all the time. Yellow Flash 2 says, good evening. Hey, what's up, Flash? How you doing, buddy? And Cynthia Cotney says, quote from the chat, things are getting Depp. We need to face this case heard on by Ananka Adventure. Yes. Thank you. Okay, Tug. What the fuck is going on? Tell me about this case. Because this has been, let's go back. I mean, this case has been going on for like 2 years, right?
Yeah. God, yeah. It was supposed to pop off in 2021. It got delayed. We had our UK 2020 adventure. Actually, this stuff at first we got it all presented after a lovely article that Amber Heard put out talking about how she was a victim, of course. The funny thing about that article, we find out after we get past all of these dismissal claims, is we have the ACLU plotting behind the scenes with Amber Heard to make Johnny Depp the face against violence against women. They wanted to go to Congress. They wanted to use Trump, of course, like everyone wants to use Trump. They wanted to make money on it, but they were going to turn him into the face of violence against women. Which, woo, you talk about never coming back from that shit.
No. I mean, if you are the face of violence against women. And it's funny because they could pick any number of congressmen to just be that. But if you are the face of violence against women, that's game over, right? Like, how do you recover from domestic abuse? Looks like this, Johnny Depp.
Yeah, you don't. That's very true. You don't. They were gonna bring it up, make a giant shit show out of it. Because of that, they made Amber Heard a quote unquote ambassador for women, right? It's like, damn, so she's an ambassador for women's rights. And it worked for a while. For about 4 years, she claimed during their divorce that she was given $7 million, that she was so disgusted by all of this that she gave away the entirety of that $7 million to charity.
That was great.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, it's good. Did you find out all of that was a fat fucking lie when they were like, hey, will you show us some proof that you did this? In the UK too. So you have the UK trial come up. The UK trial was about NGN The Sun, the Sun tabloid. They put out an article calling him a wife beater. So he's like, yeah, this is fucking up my life. I'm going to take them to trial. She was a witness. She wasn't a party in that. And again, like I was saying, the judge would not allow her to be asked anything. He only dismissed 2 of 14 claims that she had. And one of the claims was because she took a response that he had sent her, and it was an apology, just a random apology. Hey, I'm sorry about last night. She was like, I don't remember him abusing me here, but obviously he was beating me behind the scenes here.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And the judge said, well, this would have been credible. Basically, he said this would have been credible if there was any recollection of an event. But since there wasn't, I'm going to have to dismiss it. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, it's good that he dismissed that.
Yeah. But I was like, good God, man. So every person that they put up, they had witnesses that they claimed that they saw violence committed by her. She also is on tape talking about how she starts physical fights. She throws pots and pans. She punches him. She was on tape also saying, tell the world, tell the world, Johnny, tell the world that I, Johnny Depp, am a victim of domestic violence. See who believes you. And, she sounds, even the media couldn't spin that. Even chill fucking media couldn't. But the judge did. The judge absolutely did.
Yeah, it's and I mean she threw a bottle that ended up cutting off part of his finger. I mean, this is a volatile relationship.
Oh yeah. And she
So-
she put a cigarette on his face too. That's some fucked up shit.
It's literally a war crime. Yeah, so let's where's I gonna go with this? So how about this? Let's tackle the tough thing.
Okay.
Johnny Depp is not perfect.
Sure.
And that relationship was a fucking mess.
Right.
Right? Like there is some back and forth. Isn't there? Or am I
Well,
wrong on that?
In the relationship, first of all, it's interesting that she hired a private investigator to dig up dirt on any other relationship the man has ever had. And the private investigator came back publicly and was like, everybody has said this guy has been a fucking saint in the relationship. He's a substance abuser, fucking hell of a substance abuser. But they couldn't find anything to pin on him. So what she wanted to allege is that from go, he would take the chance of focusing on her, and for some reason, out of any other woman that he had been around, he was going to do terrible things to her. Now, on tapes, she complains that when there are physical altercations, he leaves. She's like, you keep walking away. I want to fight you. I want to beat you up. And he's like, no, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. So it sounds like a shitty relationship, but when you listen to her talk, she sounds like a classic fucking manipulator, a classic fucking abuser. I mean, I've seen plenty of them in mental health. You've seen victims when they talk about this. It's just that people, when your accuser is a female, people want to look, what did that fucking dude do? Well, did the guy have to do anything except be stupid enough to, for whatever reason, get in a relationship there and wouldn't abort because they think there's something in it and they want to salvage it?
Yeah. Well, and people, I mean, disregarding abuse victims, right? People stay in bad relationships for long times, for long periods of time, for a variety of reasons. It's easier, right? It's easier than breaking up. It's when they're, that's one of the main reasons people will stay with people long past the expiration date, is that it seems harder to get away from the routines, from the living conditions and all of that stuff. They have to change their lives up. And that's a daunting task. When you throw in abuse and celebrity, you've got other factors at play too. Johnny Depp breaking up with Amber Heard is news. Normal people break up and no one gives a shit because, most people on earth who fucking cares about your life. Sorry. No one cares about the majority of us most of the time. But when you have millions and millions of fans and paparazzi and tabloids and everything, when you break up with someone, it becomes an actual news story. So that's a factor that they have to consider. And they may have agents and other people pressing on them saying, hey, maybe now's not the right time. You're looking to get into this role. There could be some backlash. That's one thing. The other factor that comes in with abuse victims is, of course, the abusive relationships create almost a dependence. It's weird. And you find people sticking in. You could probably talk more about this than me because of your background in mental health. But there's something to that, right? Like with,
oh yes, very much so. Very much so. That classic codependence, and a lot of the people that are abusers, they're also very skilled manipulators. They, like you said, they create a codependence, but more than that, they are very good at shifting blame and pointing at you. And a male like a Depp is in an especially terrible circumstance because his job, his roles oftentimes depend on the fact that he's seen as masculine. And if you come out and say, hey, she's beating me, she's fucking me up behind the scenes, she cut off my finger, she burned my face,
Right.
I mean, how's that going to be perceived? You know exactly how that's going to go over. Oh, what a beta, what a
Oh
cuck.
yeah. Yeah, and the reality is the it's funny because the whole alpha beta thing is gets distorted regularly.
Mhm.
But like men being victims of abuse is not that's not a beta thing,
No.
right? Like the solution to abuse, I guess, like if for a man being abused by a woman is to what? Hit her? And then what are you immediately,
Yep.
right? Like you are a monster.
Yep.
And you can say all day, yeah, oh no, she was hitting me, she was hitting me, she was hitting me. But you laid her out, right? Like that's that's how that news story is going to play. And so dudes will get caught up in this cycle of abuse. They can't tell anyone because of the social stigma. Also, people just don't believe them. But and then yeah, so it creates this nasty environment. Okay, so they're in a relationship, they're married, they get divorced,
Mhm.
and then she makes a bunch of allegations against him.
Yeah. Yeah, she sends essentially what is a blackmail letter. Their relationship was was fucked up. There were some of these incidents, again, if we remove the fact that someone is being abused in it, some of them are just insane to hilarious. You have an incident where he's late to her birthday party. So she not only beats the shit out of him, but she takes his phone, throws it off a balcony. Well, a homeless dude ends up with it. So one of his bodyguards has to go back and buy it from him. And the homeless guy's like, yeah, I'd like $425, 3 chicken tacos, 2 waters. I mean, it's this whole laundry list of shit.
It's like
It's
the
funny.
most specific and weird list.
I love it. I mean, that's that. And at one time, she gets mad at him. So either her or one of her friends decides to shit in his bed. Now, there's a witness statement by the housekeeper who found it. And oh my God, oh my God, I hope to God that that she is the one that tells us about that in the courtroom, because when I read that the first time, I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, I gotta mute for a second. I gotta compose myself because this is the funniest shit I've ever read. But it's a terrible relationship. And on May 21st, 2016, there's a huge ordeal that pops up. The police arrive. Now they don't. It takes 4 years for body cam footage to surface. I believe that it surfaced because she went after the LAPD. She said that they were lying. Essentially, she wanted to pull their service records. She wanted to ruin their fucking lives because they responded. Well, lo and behold, body cam footage pops up, and it
Whoops.
shows that not only did she lie, but the people that she was involved with there, her co-conspirators, they lied too. So, ooh.
Yeah. It's amazing. This is a mentality of absolute privilege, and like I don't use the privilege word lightly, but there is rich white women have
Woke white women, yellow flash.
yeah, they have so much actual power. Like it's in this type of stuff that it's shocking. But well, and I should say hot white women too, right? Like Amber Heard is very attractive. She's very wealthy. She's liked because she's a celebrity, not because she's particularly good or whatever. People are like, oh, I saw her in a movie, I like her. It's like you don't know her at all. But all of that combined, and then that feeds into this need to destroy. Like I don't know what it is, but like, so her going after the police it's stupid, but it's not at all surprising. Like, oh, you think you can contradict or countermand me? No, I'm going to go after you. You didn't do enough to protect me. You didn't do whatever perceived slight she had is enough to go after them. You think you're so powerful, but I can get you out. I can have you out of everything.
What's
And
astounding in this too? Like somebody asked about I use the word co-conspirators. She says she was isolated. In this. Oh, he tried to isolate me. He tried to take me away from everybody. In reality, he's living in a penthouse with her. The Eastern Columbia building is a fucking amazing fucking place to live. Well, he
Right.
moved her friends in around her too. So he, in fact, was isolated. You know, you have all these people behind the scenes. If you look at their text messages that have been added to this case, they were talking about things like, bringing knives to conversations, basically killing him. They were talking about stabbing him to death. And I wondered sometimes, what was the plan on this? Was the plan to keep him and to, milk him for fame, or was the plan to, I don't know, Lifetime movie this shit, kill him and try to walk away with $650 million?
Well, I think it's maybe that, or it's just the eternal shit test, right? Like, and maybe this is on Depp for various reasons, and it's not like it's his fault, but it's what can I keep doing to this chump? Like, what can I keep doing to get away with? Like, what will he tolerate until he finally says no? And it escalates and escalates and escalates. And eventually he did say no, right? Like, they got divorced. So
Yeah,
that
he
happened.
finally walked. He finally had enough. And when he left, of course, right after that, she sent a blackmail letter. It was, this is what we want, and of course, you did all of these terrible things, and we don't want to serve you and embarrass you in public. That's why we didn't
Right.
serve you at the award ceremony you had just a couple of days before. And if you agree to everything, we'll take we'll find a judge. Here's 4 judges in a row that would cover this behind the scenes. No muss, no fuss. We'll never ever mention this. And a lot of people would fault to that shit. They would have gave them everything that they wanted, but he was like, "Fuck that. We're going to war." And it ruined his fucking life, honestly.
Yeah. What were some of the demands in the blackmail letter? Do you remember?
She wanted $50,000 a month for upkeep. She she had this
50 grand
list
a
of
month?
things. Yeah, 50 grand a month, so $600,000 upkeep a year, and how
But
long?
she-
Forever, basically.
And she makes a fortune. It's not like Amber Heard isn't pulling in money. I mean, she's in major movies, right? Like, she's in big productions. She's in DC movies. She's in Aquaman or whatever. And I'm pretty sure they want to make the movie about her, or they
Well,
wanted to make the sequel about her.
What was interesting, yeah, if you look, so her evidence that she's added, she's burned all of that, by the way. Her quest for revenge for this guy for walking the fuck away from her, for challenging her. She burned Disney. Disney, they were rumored to want her for Disney princess movies, all kinds of other roles. Well, she didn't get what she wanted from them. They said her plan was to essentially prove she didn't ruin Depp's life, that's what she's going to have to prove. I didn't do all that. I didn't fuck up his life. He fucked up his own life. Well, they didn't give her enough, so she threatened sanctions against them. She threatened to sue them, and Disney's. They're never gonna bring her back for that. They're never gonna take it. Warner Brothers, they made the deal with her for Aquaman 2, saying, "Don't bring this into the courtroom." And immediately she brought them into the courtroom. Now, it's bad too. She in her evidence list, she has Jason Momoa text, she has James Wan text, Zack Schneider. I mean, you've got all of this stuff tied to Warner, and Warner. You can tell something happened recently, just from her behavior and also the merger, the Ezra Miller, the fuckery. I mean, it's this giant shit show where she burned her life down trying to get him. But she wanted the $50,000 a month upkeep. She wanted vehicles. She wanted 3 penthouses. I mean, she just had this extortion list. Give me all of
Jeez.
this shit or else.
Yeah. And so he doesn't give in. He fights back. And then that fight, like you said, it tears his life apart. He's out. Like, he is out of Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
And like
The-
they would cast Kevin Spacey before Johnny Depp.
Well, that's crazy, isn't it? Like, Ezra Miller, they kept that guy around. The guy's only breaking into people's houses, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna bury you and your slut wife," choking fans on fucking video. But hey, he's a better face for your movies than this guy who's trying to clear his name.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's just wild. So they do that. Then now tell me about the UK case, because the UK case was not Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard.
Right.
It's like the UK Sun or something, right?
Yeah, yeah. The NGN or News Group newspaper network, that would be the Sun tabloid, and the guy who wrote it, Dan Wooten. So he decides to take them to court because Amber Heard makes contact with them, and they write a specific article aimed at J.K. Rowling, trying to get him removed from his role on Fantastic Beasts 2. They're like, hey, why would you keep this? And they use the word wife beater. Why would you keep this word wife beater there? And he sues them. He sues them for it. Now he could have he could have gone about this in a different way. I asked I'm going to use the word sources. I asked sources, why not bring NDA disclosure violation? Why not bring that case? And the reason for that was they could have won it, sure, because she violated the terms of the divorce. You know, they weren't even supposed to talk about this shit ever. But he would look guilty. Like he wouldn't be able to talk about it either. So he took, even if he loses in the UK, he gets to present all of the evidence for his case that he has never been able to talk about. So I feel like they thought they would win. I mean, they presented a strong case, but they get a trial light before they go up against Amber Heard, so they can see what problems are there. And like I said, they get to put all of this stuff public. Everyone gets to hear what happened behind the scenes. They get to see what evidence or lack thereof she has. They get to see that she's lying about charity. She actually put the charitable donation statement, she put that on record. I gave away $7 million. And she didn't.
Right.
It was a lie. So.
Yeah, that was crazy when it finally came out. Was she ordered to like return that money or something?
No, not yet. There hasn't been anything. What showcased that it happened. There were a few people that brought up the fact that like the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles was on. So she didn't just she didn't give money to sick and dying kids. She puts it in her one of her statements. She's like, I'm tired of these people saying I defrauded sick and dying children with cancer. So she defrauded sick and dying children with cancer and domestic violence victims with the ACLU. That's what they supposedly support. They don't, but that's the supposedly. But she was called out in a letter. They asked, "Hey, where's our money? Like, you know, we got an initial payment of $100,000 that came from Johnny Depp. She threw a fucking fit that he made those initial payments. So she was supposed to be on a payment schedule. Well, no, it never came out. Now, nothing's come of that so far afterwards.
God. See, that's the shit that pisses me off. She flat out lies. She puts it in a statement. They prove the lie. They show, yeah, she lied about this. It's like, well, whatever. You know, because she got that money on the condition that she would do this. And then she didn't do it. I mean, that's...
Well, and she used it as clout. The one of the things in the UK trial was they accused her of being a gold digger and a manipulator. And the judge said, well, she can't be a gold digger. Look, she gave away all that $7 million to charity. You know, and it's like she lied. Fuck, she lied about it. And the appeals court, they said, yeah, you know, we can tell here she abused him. The appeals court, they fucking actually said this shit. She abused him. There's proof that she hit him, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't that bad of abuse. So apparently there's a sliding scale for men.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's just a little bit of abuse.
Yeah.
Let me hit a couple of these. Matrix Tech had a message retracted and then follows up with new balls, no balls entry. Wife and I went to get a haircut and saw a boba shack. I love boba tea, so for me, balls. She almost puked because her 20 weeks pregnant palate just couldn't handle the texture. So for her, no balls. Boba tea is disgusting and degenerate. It comes from Japan or whatever, so you know it's gross. But anybody who drinks boba tea is, really probably should be executed. That stuff is fucking weird. Have you ever had that shit?
No, I've never had it.
It's like you get this tea and then it's got tapioca balls in it. It's like, why? Why would you do that?
Gross.
Fucking disgusting.
Like my kids like some of the the odd little drinks that you can get, the novelty shit. But I'm like, oh, that sounds disgusting. I don't want any of that shit.
Yeah, Taiwan, the suburb of Japan. Stop it. Apparently it came from Taiwan. It's like, yeah, just because you keep reading made in Taiwan on everything doesn't mean everything actually came from there, guys. I don't know. Taiwan's just East Japan or whatever. Dark Fox 2000 says, damn, second try. What's up, fuckface? And I turned 40, which is clearly your fault. Can I get a cheers? Also, moving to a town close to you for a job, and now that's your fault too. Let's cheers to life, and I wish your chat the best. Why would you? What job are you finding out here? So I was just down in Texas, Doug, and I'm in Dallas, and I'm in Tyler, and there is just everything is growing. Nothing but construction and busyness, right? People moving in, businesses moving in, things being built, and everything's crazy. And then I come back home and I realize the town I live near, it's fucking deceased. There's no one wants to come here. No businesses are coming here. Things are like leaving. It's a stagnant town on a good day. And it's like, it's so weird seeing a successful town. So hearing someone moving out here is very surprising.
I live out in, the Appalachian South. And I mean, if we travel about an hour and a half away, yeah, Nashville, that fucking thing is booming. But out here, no, the poor just get poorer. So if you move here, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, if you move out into the middle of Appalachia, you better have an internet connection, a really good
know how to
OnlyFans.
play the banjo.
Yeah.
You better.
If you play the banjo with your labia on OnlyFans, you probably make a fortune though. Dark Fox, man, cheers! Happy birthday, turning 40 and moving. Hopefully, the job is a step up, and I hope you enjoy it. I do like living out in the middle of nowhere. It's just weird to see progress in other parts of the country. Angron, the Red Angel, says the housekeeper was originally the hired chef, Debrina Woods. She was my neighbor and told us all about Johnny being high as fuck and her dropping a loaf in the bed and throwing objects at him. First and last Depp job.
Yeah, I mean he was a heavy substance abuser. There's no there's no denying that. The thing is, substance abuse, they want to equate substance abuse to a domestic abuser. And yeah, sometimes those two will cross over, but that doesn't mean that, he didn't have a history of doing that. Typically, you're not going to see somebody with decades, in Hollywood especially, that doesn't have skeletons in their closet as far as domestic abuse. He has a lot of fucked up things. It's like I said, as far as drugs, that man is a heavy connoisseur. In fact, there are text messages. So here's a fucked up thing that happens in the case. His other lawyers, the ones that he ends up firing, at first they look inept, but they keep making more and more mistakes. Now, one of their other clientele is a certain billionaire, a multi-billionaire, richest guy in the world, giant simp. Well, they end up accidentally dumping every text message that he has ever sent in the last 10 years to the defense. And it's got a lot of shit about drugs for sure. But there's nothing about abuse in it. So
Right. Yeah. That's the amazing thing. Like you can have horrific personal habits and addictions that do not amount to any danger to the other person.
Yeah.
Like that just happens. Lots of people do things that are catastrophically bad for their health or even illegal. That doesn't mean that they beat anybody or verbally abuse them or anything like that. So
these words matter too. One of the things that got me interested in Vic Mignogna or anything else. I've worked with people, like when they call somebody a fucking pedophile. I've worked with children victims, and those words matter. They absolutely matter, because the people that do that, they should be introduced to the wall, 110%. But and the victims there, I mean, when you try to put their lives together, it's if you ever manage to do it, it's a long, arduous process, and it's a horrific process to listen to children victims to adult victims as well. Also, at one time I worked with predators, and that was not, that's not something you want to do. I don't have the
No.
temperament for it. I want to. They have to be monitored. Somebody has to do it, and I'm glad there are people out there, because if you don't monitor these motherfuckers, what they do, offense rates or recidivism rates are 80% in the first year without 20% if you constantly monitor them. So someone has to do it. But when you get some smug fuck sitting across from you telling you how, oh, I'm just wired that way. Oh, yeah. Try not kicking their teeth in, you know?
Oh, it's awful. You know, I've dealt with a couple different types of predators, and you have the ones who are like, you know what, it's just how I am. You have to accept me. And then you have the other people who they have various excuses for their disgusting behavior, and those excuses may or may not be valid. You know, substance abuse or whatever put them in improper mindsets. But you know, there are some people who at least recognize that that is disgusting, and you at least hope that there's hope for them. But the people who don't see that them doing anything wrong like that that's something.
Yeah, it's astounding. Like looking at society, period, and what they take up for. Again, all victims deserve justice, and someone that is falsely accused. First of all, that's a victim. You know, you've destroyed their fucking lives. But you know, the double whammy of, like I said, in the Depp case, the evidence has come out. He very much was a victim in that relationship. So you have the double whammy of the victim gets accused. All of these companies, they bury his ass, and I mean it's something. Hopefully, something happens. I have no. It's an uphill battle. I try to remain optimistic, but we've seen other cases. We have to. All you have to do is win one, and then you know that will start stemming this tide. But winning that one, holy shit.
Yeah, and the problem with the Johnny Depp case so far is I know it was like a test case against the Sun or whatever, and they get to make some mistakes, but he did lose that case.
Yep.
And that, I think, really, you know, that emboldens these people.
Oh yeah.
And we saw that with Vic too, right? Like they took the judge's decision on the anti-slap as a complete vindication of their actions and have been happily harassing him ever since. And to have that shit happen is just devastating to the victim, who gets to then be victimized with permission from a court, which is nonsense. But that's how it goes. Okay, so what are the actual causes of action in this case?
$50 million in damages is what he's going with, because again, his career's destroyed. Disney dropped him. Pirates. After the fact, they added in Warner Brothers, because they ended up dropping him for Fantastic Beasts. Now they had to pay him $10 million for recording one sentence there, because he still had a contract there, which is
right.
Hey, I would deal with that, but yeah, I mean they burned his life down to the point that NGN, he had a small movie, Minamata. It's not
that was
something
pretty recent, right?
Yeah, very, very recent, and it was supposed to be distributed by NGN. They picked it up, they suppressed it. They were like, nah. Behind the scenes, they told the guy who made it, we will not put this out, because that guy right there. So I mean, it ruined his life. So again, he goes for $50 million in damage. But I truly believe the entire point in this is to present this case to two courts: the court of public opinion. You have to change public, and that's worked. That is absolutely. I've never seen a person uncanceled in the public opinion, but we've seen that here. And then you've got to present that to the courtroom.
Yeah, and that is the new. I think that's a newer phase of litigation in the age of social media that not enough attorneys are privy to or preparing for, but these lawsuits need to be not only tailored for the court, but tailored specifically for public consumption. They have to be socially conscious about it. They have to know what message they're crafting, because they have to know that if there's enough notoriety to the person or to the case, that it's going to be viewed by, potentially millions and millions of people. And that's their pitch. That's their marketing pitch. They have to sell what their client is. And it doesn't always work out that's consistent with the best courtroom strategy, but you have to balance what those things are. And I think that's a new place for law to go, especially in stuff like this.
Well,
But
that fight, you could tell both sides they started to understand that. Like, she escalates her claim. She understood in Virginia, it can go public. We can watch this, which we're going to be able to. We're going to watch it. Well, she didn't want that to happen, so she starts she starts changing the language, the descriptors. No longer did she divorce; she escaped her marriage. No longer was she just accosted or abused. She was raped. She starts adding these, very those words right there. They're destroyers of lives, and she knows
Yep.
damn well that. And it didn't work. What the beautiful thing about Virginia, it's not just Virginia either. So this court spans Virginia. It spans. It goes into Los Angeles because that's where they lived originally, and the ACLU, they refuse to turn over anything whatsoever. They absolutely refuse, because they're a co-conspirator organization. They're not just some charity. Behind the scenes, they were conspiring with her. So he has to take it to the New York Supreme Court, and every court has gotten sick of them. The LA judge goes on a rant. There are minutes that ended up accidentally released as one of the exhibits for something in New York, and the judge spent, I don't know, 10 pages just berating them, telling them what kind of pieces of shit they were.
Oh God, the ACLU is a trash organization. They're done. Like they're no longer for civil liberty in any way. They're now just for various agendas. That's what they are. And it's a shame to see that. And they shouldn't be involved in this at all. Like, why is the ACLU involved in a personal dispute between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp? That doesn't make any sense.
Money, man. You can tell, like, one of their big contributors. This is one of the things that everybody's been celebrating Elon Musk. He's going to keep our freedoms. Well, he is one of the major contributors to the ACLU, and he's been all about that suppression of freedom. He's been all about the suppression of people due to politics. So yeah, maybe he can meme, maybe that's great, but he isn't there he's there to protect his free speech. He isn't there to protect your free speech.
Right. No. Yeah. If I bought, like, if I were Musk and bought an almost 10% stake in Twitter and was suddenly the plurality shareholder, the first thing I would do is say, yeah, we're stopping this banning bullshit.
Yep.
Like, that's coming to an end right now. You better have a damn good reason why any account is banned. We're talking illegal activity here. Yep. But they call someone fat or whatever. No, I'm not going to ban them for that. What are you talking about? That'd be my first move. Incidentally and interestingly, of course, it's not Elon Musk's first move. But did you see that that the Jack Dorsey did a video with someone on YouTube, an interview, and it got removed from YouTube? I think it was about crypto or something.
Oh, yeah. The crypto
got removed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Jack Dorsey's like, what is the basis for this? It's like, hey, Jack, welcome to the fucking party, you idiot.
Right. Exactly.
You create these arbitrary rules that don't make sense to normal people. You've been immune to them because you're the owner of Twitter. So you get all of this deference, and no one's ever going to ban you from things, but you ban other people all the time, or well, your company does. You set this environment up. So now welcome to it. And you just got mildly censored. You got censored by proxy on someone else's channel. But it's just nuts how that shit works out. And then they're always like, what do you mean we got banned? But my speech was so reasonable. It's like, yeah, everybody's is actually just fine.
Yep. Yeah. Oh man, everybody can hurt someone else's feels. Who gives a shit, man? There should be clear-cut violations. Again, terms of service, it should be very clear. You shouldn't have nebulous words like hate speech. It's but Jack Dorsey, yeah, he was one of the biggest offenders. So reap that fucking whirlwind. Enjoy it.
Yeah. Get wrecked, Jack.
Yep.
Hunter Biden's crack pipe says Ezra Miller's continued existence in Hollywood is proof that they treat weird sexual problems as get out of blacklist free cards. Depp should come out as Jesse Depp, then clothesline a chick on camera outside a bar.
That might work. They'd be like redeemed, stunning, and brave.
Yeah. Turns out that's what he should do. He should pull the trans card and say that actually he's been trying to fight this, without bringing this up, but Amber actually hated Juanita Depp, right? Like hated her, who she was, who she was on the inside that was trying to come out. He had confided in her that he was actually, that he felt he believed he was a female from birth. He's always had these feelings and now they manifested, and she became first homophobic because he was now a woman who was a lesbian and she hated that. And then also transphobic, and that she beat him and said he should join the 40% or whatever the suicide statistic is. And that's what I would do if I was him. Right.
Well, the media would get on his side. They'd be like, the oppression Olympics, you just crossed a major hurdle, baby.
Yeah. He's, what a mess. Yellow Flash 2 says, Nick, recently a new motion was entered into the DA Talks versus Preston Poulter lawsuit. Dean is arguing that his Second Amendment rights are being violated with the case. Do you think he will get a win here? What? How? Huh?
Oh my God! If you haven't read it, he wrote that himself too.
Why would his Second Amendment rights be violated?
Because he doesn't fucking understand the law in any way, shape, or form. He wrote. Oh my God! It is.
Does he mean like First Amendment? Does he mean a different amendment?
Yes. Yes. It's beautiful. Like, for real, if you haven't read that, oh my God, yeah. Flash, send it to him because,
send that to me, Flash, because I haven't read it, but like that's just Dean is trying so hard to lose this case.
Yep.
And the funny thing is, people have all sorts of opinions on Dean and Vicky in particular. I think the opinions are trash and pile of garbage. But that doesn't really matter. They had relatively solid cases if they would have just done literally anything on this.
They were offered a way out. I mean, Van Sciver was like, "Hey, you want to get out of jail free card? Well, even though you're trash human beings, I will let you join my motion to dismiss." And they're like, "Nah, we don't need that."
Yes, you did. Yeah. What a disaster.
Oh, I love it though. I love it. I love watching that. I love watching these fucking people that get together and try to destroy other people. They initially, if people pride themselves on ruining someone else and that what brings you together, they'll probably turn on you and they'll probably fuck up your life too.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it ends up going. That's any of these, the like life ruination social media channels or whatever. When they run out of targets, they have to turn on the people who are thereby because they have to keep the content up, and it's awful to watch it happen. And it's a mess. I'll have to check in on their stupid lawsuit. Now that Ethan's out, I don't care as much.
It's fun. It's funny. Like, I know you like watching train wrecks. It is a beautiful social media train wreck.
So check DMs. I sent it. It's not long. Okay, we might pull it up in a little bit. But I want to get through the Johnny Depp stuff. So this thing's starting up. I think the miraculous thing here is that this is going to trial, and this is why they picked Virginia. Right? There's no anti-slap, I believe.
No, there is. There's
there is an anti-slap.
Yeah. They played that was one of the cards she played twice. Actually, she played that, and then she said, well, in her counterclaim, part of she played. I guess there were I can't remember if there were 4 or 3 things that she tried to throw in there, but one of them was, well, because I had free speech, him bringing this, that fucked up my life, so therefore, therefore, I should automatically win. And
Oh my
yeah,
God.
they tried to get it knocked out for that, but the judge wouldn't have any of it. I was shocked after seeing the stuff that happened with Vic. I never realized how powerful a tool anti-slap is on fucking up other people's lives until Mignana. But after
Well,
that,
yeah, look, even taking it out of that, look at Stormy Daniels, right? Like Stormy Daniels sues Trump. He anti-slaps her. She owes him 300 grand. And it's I think that lawsuit was bad in general, but
sure.
it's like people file bad lawsuits and don't end up owing $300,000 to someone.
Right.
It's excuse me. It's such a devastating tool when it's used. And I do not believe in anti-slaps. I think they're terrible. I think they do the opposite of what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to expeditiously deal with things, but I think they actually end up dragging out more cases than they prevent. And I think that they basically put too high of a burden on a plaintiff to prove a case before they have the opportunity to prove it. And when you've got someone who's an actual victim, whose life has been devastated or ravaged by something, like Johnny Depp, right? Like, it's hard to say. You could maybe argue that Amber Heard was not the cause of Johnny Depp's downfall. I mean, I think that'd be a tough sell, but she said a bunch of shit that was done in public, and his career was literally trashed. It's in the dirt.
Yeah, right.
And so it's hard. It's like, okay, well, I mean, that kind of looks like defamation occurred. It kind of looks like they caused this. So then now the only question is it true? Right. And the frustrating thing about Vic's case is it's the same thing. Like, the evidence of the damage that was done is right there. It's plain to see. And the fact that the judge ignored that was so frustrating, because it's like, well, what the fuck is defamation if this isn't it? So I'm actually very encouraged to see this going to trial.
Yeah, I think I'm glad, number one, it's going to trial. I'm glad, number two, that we all get to see it play out. I think that you need people to see what kind of fuckery goes on in the courtroom. If somebody loses, you need to see how they lose. The UK trial, again, we got to see the appeals process, and it opened a lot of people's eyes to just how bad those cases are. So in the US, again, I wish every trial was just thrown out there where we could see it. Yeah.
Well, we divorced ourselves from the UK system partly, and that's part of the reason is because there were secret courts. There was the Star Chamber in the UK, where the king had a special court for people who had crimes against the king, and no one got to see what happened. And the conviction rate was shockingly high. And so when we come over here, we're like, no, actually, the public should be able to go and see the courts. The process should be transparent. They should be able to examine the documents. They should be able to listen to the hearings. And at first, courts were done literally out in the open. There wasn't a courthouse. There was a courtyard, and court was held in the courtyard. And because the judges would travel either county to county or town to town, and they would have court day or days, and they would resolve all of the issues really quickly and then move on. The circuit courts are called the circuit courts because it was literally a circuit of courts that the judges would go to. So they did all this out in the open, though, and that was the key. The public was there to make sure that the court was honest, the government was honest, and that the defendant was honest as well. And they could see when justice was being carried out. And now we have an unparalleled ability to do this because live streaming is free, effectively. Right. When you're talking about the types of money that courts have, you're a couple $100 of equipment, and a YouTube channel. That's it. Everything else is already present in the courtroom. They just need a couple cameras and to make sure their microphones work and are tapped into the streaming software. And that's it. That's all they have to do. Google has already provided the back end and all of the expensive parts of it. So now we should be doing that every single courtroom, every single trial, every single day, with only limited exceptions where you have like kids and stuff like that need to be protected. But other than that, it should all be public.
Yeah, they in the UK, they also did something that in the US I was surprised to see. The US didn't give preferential treatment to the media. They actually said if you want to come here, it's going to be first come first serve. Media, there's a few things about recording there, but spectators, the media are spectators here. In the UK, media first, baby. They're the only people that are going to get into that damn courtroom. You're going to stand outside and you're going to watch.
Well, and recently, of course, you get the perspective of media from what happened with Law and Crime. Law and Crime, when they came after me, and the ultimate resolution that they decided that they weren't going to pursue it, even though they totally could. They said was that well, there's a media pool, and you have to participate in the pool if you want to have access to share this stuff. You have to be in the pool. Well, the media pool involves a payment and an agreement to be in other media pools, and you have to shoulder some of the cost because, well, Law and Crime or somebody else had to pay their cameraman to be there. And so it's a way to keep out independent journalists. No, you got to be in the media pool, which means you have to contribute. And if the judge, like the way the media pooling works, if you're in the media pool, the judge might say, you win. Well, if you win, you have to have a camera crew and the cameras in there every single day. Like you have to staff it. So it's an independent person across the country, for like me, for example. If I'm watching the same trial as Law and Crime and I enter into the media pool to try and quote unquote do it right, which is accepting a false premise, but we'll run with it. And I win the lottery, then I have to get cameras into that courtroom and I have to get staff into that courtroom. And when I don't win, I have to pay money to do all this shit. So it's, but that's what they want. They want an elite cadre of people who are the limited access. And that's not how any of this shit was intended.
They also
in
don't
America.
want people that are knowledgeable about cases, talking about fucking cases. In this, to
Right.
show you how inept these journalists are, there's one person on Twitter, goes by the real Laura B. She pulls up every document. I mean, thorough, good at this stuff. Well, when she brought up all the things going on with Warner Brothers, again, court documentation, these journalists didn't even know that you could pull court documents. They were like, she's leaking court documents. It's all secret. These are the same motherfuckers that are telling us that, what to think about cases. Yeah, it tells you plenty. Like some of these journalists don't even understand that the counterclaim isn't the case that we're watching. They keep talking about it. Oh, there's $100 million at stake in this one. No, that's the other case. But hey, whatever.
Yeah. Well, no, and we saw this with Rittenhouse, right?
Oh God,
Like,
what a travesty.
and we saw it with Curtis Reeves, the Florida popcorn shooter. All the reporting on Curtis Reeves would have had anybody who was listening to the major media reports said, "Oh, this guy shot a guy over popcorn. He's going to prison forever, and he deserves it." If you were watching the trial and actually getting commentary from like me and Branca and stuff like that, you're going, okay, they're not making their case though. Like I get the narrative, but they're not actually doing the case. The prosecution isn't presenting facts necessary to establish what they need to establish. And so, our chat, the polling in our chat versus Law and Crime prior to the jury verdict was the exact opposite, right? Like in ours, it was like 80% of the people thought he would walk. And over on Law and Crime, 80% thought he would be guilty. And of course he was found not guilty. And the people in the if he would have been convicted in our chat, we would have said that's injustice, but we get it.
Right.
When he was not convicted over in Long Crime, people were melting down. Like, how could this possibly happen? The prosecution presented such a good case. Like, well, they actually didn't, though. They never laid the facts to overcome his right of self-defense. They never did it. They didn't address it. And that's I think that's one of the things that they're all scared of. Like the Long Crime Network, they don't have lawyer commentary. They have journalist commentary. And then for like one segment each day, they'll bring in lawyers for like a 10-minute roundup. And so they don't have like learned people watching this.
So Court TV is getting into this. They did a little segment talking 7 minutes about about what this case has. They took a piece of evidence. First, there was a piece of evidence leaked to TMZ. It was originally 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It was cut down to a minute and 30 seconds, I believe. Well, they take it from Court TV. First of all, what it is it's a secret recording. You have Heard set up her phone and hide it. And Depp is mad about something. He's slamming some cabinet doors and shit. And when he finds her phone, which she's trying to hide, he gets pissed off. He grabs the phone and he's like, I'm out of here. And at the end, you can hear her laughing. Well, TMZ alone, when they pick it up, they cut off the beginning and end to make it look like, holy shit, there's a volatile exchange. He's a madman. Well, Court TV, they took the same footage, they shortened it to 6 seconds. They hyper zoomed in on it, and it makes it look like he's grabbing her and shaking her and beating her on video. It's like, what the fuck is that? So yeah, you need people that are watching it. Again, I'm not going to say that I'm not biased in this. I've looked at the evidence. I believe that I see that, and maybe that does bias me to a person. I'm sure it does. But she's a piece of shit. At least I want you to watch the case. I want you to sit down and you make your own mind up. Like you said, they don't want you to. If you decide that you're a bigot, you're a monster. You know how that goes.
Well, and it's a reminder that these people all have an agenda, and their agenda has nothing to do with a particular case. The case is a tool in their agenda's toolbox. And that's the crazy thing to think about with news organizations, but it's true. The cases are the tools. Whereas, most people are going into a case going, okay, I want to see, I need to know how this plays out. I need to know if this person was right or wrong. I need to see the evidence here because I've heard the accusations. These people are going, we actually don't care about any of that. We want to craft the narrative about this issue. And this case is a way to do that. And with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, it is that male abusive, anti-male abusive male stereotype that they're trying to push for whatever reason, for whatever ends. And so if they can make Johnny Depp look bad, then that's the goal, because they want him to be the embodiment of the villain.
Because they want all men to be villains. I mean, shit, the Me Too movement was supposed to be a simple statement of, I am a victim of this too. It's supposed to be men, women, but they found out really quickly that vehicle was a powerful vehicle. It worked like a rudderless ship, though. That thing, every now and then, it would just steam something over. But it was out there gaining momentum. You had those people that latched onto it. The first thing that they did is they turned it into an anti-male movement, and they started pointing it at anyone that they fucking wanted to destroy. And it's just like the Vic stuff, like with the Vic case. They had that document, the broken stair case. Stair, and they were going to destroy. It turned out 86 people.
Yeah, it's nuts. And the funny thing is, I still think 85 of those people need to send Vic a thank you card.
Yes, they do.
Personally.
Yes,
because
they very much do.
his lawsuit stopped that shit relatively completely in that industry. There's been some minor minor stuff in the anime industry, but nothing like what was going on. And what happened to him was supposed to just go down the chain,
Yep.
one after the other after the other. It was supposed to hit these guys, just boom, 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 getting knocked out. And he stopped it straight in the tracks by suing. And the funny thing was when they all got sued, they were just, what? How could this even happen? How could I even be sued? It's like, well, but that's what they were doing. It's amazing. But yeah, and the Depp case is the same thing. It's all different industries, and we see it pop up from time to time in all of the industries that are out there, right? Like there was Warren Ellis or whatever in comics.
Oh yeah.
He got hit, and I mean, everybody does it differently, and he just capitulated.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, he
Several
he
of
was
the
part
comic
the
guys
problem.
have.
Well, he was part of the problem. And most of the comic guys are fucking problems. That's why,
Right.
when you look at those guys and you look at companies like Warner, that's why we need alternative industry. We talk about it all the fucking time. But yeah, because we need people that don't roll over and let these people. They don't just grow, in girth. They grow in. They keep becoming emboldened.
Yeah, they very much do. And then each person who capitulates, each person who bends a knee, each person who makes their apologies. And again, one of the things I think was the worst part of the Vic case is that he made that public apology at the beginning, and it's like throwing a bloody abortion in the water of the Amazon and watching the piranhas come out. I mean, they will use that and they will drive it against them. And like you said, Amber Heard even tried to use an unrelated apology from Johnny Depp to further bury him. Hey, sorry about last night. Well, see, he must have been beating me. It's like, oh my God.
Well, even on tapes, he's talking about how he locked himself, he locked himself in a bathroom to get away from her, but he said something about, hey, I'm sorry I try to get away from this. He's like, look, of course you're guilty. I mean, you hear it. These people, they're classic fucking manipulators. They're horrible. And again, the Warren Ellis stuff was hilarious because they said some of the accusations were things like he repeats words. He repeats them, and that's hypnotic suggestion. So that's how he managed to score me. It didn't really. I wasn't trying to manipulate him, trying to get better jobs in there. Nope. He was giving me suggestions.
Yeah.
Cool. Good stuff.
Okay, let's take a pause from Johnny Depp for a minute. And talk about something that is it's important to the discussion that we're having, but in a completely unrelated way. And hold on, I gotta pull this up.
It's gonna be hijacked. These are your nudes that you sent. I'll be like, no, I didn't. Not to you, Nick. I never sent those. Well, okay.
Here's the deal, Tug. No one told you this, but it's true. We've hacked your Pornhub history and your Hentai Planet history. And so now I'm going to ask you about all of your fetishes.
All right, I'm out of here. Hey, I'll see you later. No.
Yeah. No, here's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about Hunt the Littlest Umbrella. And this is your project that you've been working on. It's going very well right here. But can you tell us a little bit more about this? And the reason I bring this up now is because we're talking about Johnny Depp, we're talking about Vic, we're talking about comic books, and we're talking about what they're using to remove people from the industry. Well, part of the problem is that there is an industry that people can be removed from. And independent creation is the cure. It's the vaccine that actually works, is allowing people to make their own shit. And or not allowing yourself to make your own shit. And you've done this. You've done a couple campaigns now. Can you talk to me about it?
Sure. Well, and what motivated that is exactly what you're talking about. It's sending a message when we complain about these companies and what they do exhaustively. And after a while, people get the message and they want to walk away. Well, we don't want to surrender our hobbies. We don't want to surrender this because they don't own it. We built this shit. It's ours. We need alternatives, like you said. And that's what we want. And when we're doing this, you also want to send the message because it's funny that the money that we raised there, that was their money. That should have been their money because they own the industry. A person like that umbrella guy, who the fuck is that? But they allowed this to happen, and ha ha ha, more on them. No, so we've made 2 comic books so far in the Littlest Umbrella series. I wanted to create all ages books because I have 2 daughters. I thought it would be, first of all, the content coming out of these companies. Yeah, I picked up the last comic book that I picked up that I thought mistakenly might actually be for all ages. It was a Batgirl comic, and they were talking about how they went to the fertilization clinic and they were misgendered before you had superhero fights. It's like, no, I don't want, I don't want that conversation with my kids. So, yeah, no, we're not going to put that in. We've released 2, like I said. This is our 3rd comic book, the Littlest Umbrella. I'm sure anybody who's ever watched Nick, the kids that will walk through, they'll say something. Well, when my daughter would do that, so she wouldn't use her name or anything, we gave her an avatar, the Little Umbrella Girl, and we thought it would be fun to kind of introduce that into a detective noir type adventure where they go out, they solve paranormal crimes. This, our 3rd one, we're aiming for a feel with classic monsters meets Twin Peak kind of vibe, but for all ages. It's a fun experiment to see how far we can get toward the horror genre while also keeping it accessible and fun for everyone. Comic books too. Comic books are typically 18 pages after you remove the advertisements. Yeah. Like we offer is 40 to 44. So we say comic book with this stuff, but really you're getting into small graphic novels when we put these together. Yeah.
One of the things I really like about your comics is that they're truly all age comics. A lot of times people say all ages, they actually just mean kids.
Right.
But yours are designed to be enjoyed by people of all ages, from kids all the way through adulthood. It means that they're safe to actually, like, topics and subject matter. They're safe to share with children, but they're also compelling and entertaining stories that are being told. And my favorite part of it is that actually your daughter participates in the creation of the comic. I think that's just great.
I like too that she creates part of, like, covers each time. The last 2, she's drawn part of them, and that she outsells DC comic and Marvel comic pros. I think that's hilarious. It's like, haha, a 5-year-old started out, and now at 8 she's making more money than you. And you let this happen. You let this happen to yourselves. But
Gelth Walker, what's up, Gelth? How you doing, buddy? He tells me to back it live. I can't. I already did.
He did.
I backed it at this.
Yep, at the original
this
comic
one.
tier. We've sold 3 other ones behind things. So we had 20 pages. There are still the big money spenders there. You get a $200 bundle of comic books, plus you're getting artwork for $300 on that. And if nobody's ever seen a page, they're 11 by 17 pages. Like, comic
they're
pages
huge.
are giant. Yeah, and God, the work that goes into them is just amazing when you get down to it, I think.
It's fantastic. The art's good, and having I have a couple of Doug's original pages, and it's good stuff. But here you go. And this is some of the cover art, but it's the same quality of stuff going on inside the book as it is on the outside. It's not like Marvel where they get a high profile person to draw the outside, and then they just get some shit DeviantArt interns to draw the inside, and it looks like trash. You've got good stuff going on inside the book as well, and it's cool, man. I love it. I would love to do a book at some point. I just have to find the time.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's rewarding. It is work for sure, but at the end of the day, it's really rewarding. And again, like you said, alternative industry. Comic books is the one industry that we can easily impact. We can easily send our message. I get tired of complaining about companies without any type of resolution. Because again, I don't want people to surrender the medium. I want them to walk the fuck away from Warner Brothers. I want them to walk away from Disney. These places, they don't put out propaganda that ruins things. They hate you as a customer. They tell
Yes.
you that, and if and they hate you unequally. We love you equally, but they hate you unequally
Yeah.
depending on how you vote or how you identify. Fuck all that mess, man.
They do. They hate you. They want to take your money, but also despise you at the same time. And and it's not because they want to take your money. They believe they're entitled to your money because they're in the comic industry and you are a comic consumer. Therefore, you should do it. But what I would say to people is this. Here's my pitch to you. If you are new to independent comics and what you get, give it a shot. Give it a shot. Buy a bundle. If you buy the monster bundle here, it's $100, but you get what? All 3 books, right?
Yeah, all 3 books plus the 2 covers you saw. Plus we do a mini comic, so you get a mini comic with it, and you get a sketch card by me, not by the artist. So you get what you pay for. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
You get a much greater deal. You get all of that. And again, when we're looking at it, we use the word comic so people understand what they're getting. But again, when you look at industry standard for what a comic book is, we provide much more than a single issue comic with that. So.
Right. And I can tell you guys, I've backed a couple different campaigns from different people, including Tug, and what you get, it's always surprising when it comes to your door and you start unboxing it and you start opening up and seeing all the stuff you get. It's just amazing what you're actually getting out of this because it's cool. It's an experience. It's not like you go to the newsstand, you pick up the one thing and then you go home, you're fine. I mean, you can buy that tier, right? Like you can buy just the comic or whatever. But when you engage in this, you get so much more than you're used to getting from a purchase. Plus, that you're backing an independent creator. Your money is not going into some corporate hellhole that wants to create policies that disagree with your politics, that disagree with your religion, that disagree with your principles, and that literally hate you and would actively cancel you if they had the opportunity. It's just going to a person who put in a shitload of work to bring something to your doorstep. And it's something you don't get many other places. So I'd encourage people to give it a shot. I'm going to post it in the chat. I encourage my mods to go ahead and share that as well a couple times so people can easily find it. But it is truly something to back an independent creator. And this is Tug. You can go on his channel. You can interact with him. You can meet the person who makes the product and talk about it. And you can do that in a way that's impossible in basically any industry that we ever grew up with. Right? Like you could never go to the Transformers creators and be like, "Hey, assholes, why didn't Starscream's disco takeover plan work?"
Well, and with this too, you can buy it for anything you want. These people throw fits about, oh my God, I don't care if you buy it to burn, to make bird liner because you dislike what I do. Fine, buy it. I love you for it. We
Right.
also have a tier on here that we tried something different with it. We added some people don't care about comics. Okay, I would rather you buy it for yourself, but there's that donate to comics to kids. Here where we live
right here.
it is terrible, the level of poverty here. And these companies that come in and they try to help, yes, they may meet physical needs, and sometimes charities, you'll give people something for their birthday or Christmas. Man, just giving something to a kid in horrible situations and saying, hey, somebody cares about what's going on with you and here's a piece of escapism, that's a powerful tool. So you pick up your comic for a donation, we'll match that and we'll take it. The first place we're going to take them is Children's Hospital, and after if we have enough, we'll go from there. We'll figure out where we think they'll make the most impact. And again, I come from the mental health field. We work with a lot of kids There's so much need. Here we have 13,000 residents. We have around 1,000 kids that live in poverty, below the poverty threshold.
Yeah.
It's unreal in
It's
areas
amazing.
like this.
Appalachia makes, metro areas look rich.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
So
When I went to San Francisco and saw homeless people everywhere, it's still we hide our poverty better. But yeah, like you said, it's unreal.
yeah. So if guys, that's the other thing here on this charity tier. It's $25. If you don't want a comic book for yourself, that's fine. Not everybody's a comic fan. You can actually brighten the day of at least 2 kids who otherwise wouldn't have access to something like this. They each get a book for themselves, and that's just something pretty special too. So very cool of you to do that, Tug. Awesome to see that so far. So far, 88 people have done the donate to comics, which means 176.
One person bought 100 of them outside by themselves, so they actually wanted to donate. Yeah, yeah. So they were like, "Hey, I want to do this big time." And I mean, we do a lot of charitable work in our communities. Like, I got sick of seeing my community not represented by organizations. First of all, most charitable organizations are terrible. They take your money and they put it into themselves. They take the salary out of it.
9% sometimes that's an A-rated charity. 9% goes out.
Well, it's like, okay, we've been talking about Me Too. Okay, well, hashtag Time's Up. That was a company. That wasn't just a spin-off for Hollywood. That company raised millions, and less than 10% went toward their stated goal, but 33% of that went to the salaries of 3 people. So, I mean, that just tells you what these places do, and I find that to be disgusting. I mean, we have, again, I would rather if you want to check out what we do, though, I would much rather you check out what we do. If you really like the idea, we have, I think, 7 places where people can be drawn into the book. You can check that out. You get $200 worth of comic books, plus for 50 extra bucks, you get drawn in. Those, if they sell, they'll be gone by the end of that. So if you ever wanted to be part of an independent comic or comic period, get in on it. Again, a lot of stuff. Check it out. Appreciate it.
Very cool. Very cool. So there you go, guys. Again, I'll post it in the chat one more time. Mods can share it from time to time as well. I always love supporting independent creation, especially when it's people I know and people that I like. And Tug and I have always been chums ever since we met. So go ahead and check that out. And it's very much appreciated. So very, very cool. Let me check a couple more of these super chats here. X name X530 says, I can't believe how much consternation my Ethan Ralph super chat into You Are Here caused. The entertainment value is incalculable. Yes. Thank you. It's your fault. That's the guy.
It's your fault.
It is. He sent one super chat. It's the same thing. You Are Here is the one super chat shop for just causing all sorts of bullshittery to happen. It's great. And first it was Jack Murphy, and now Ethan Ralph. They said who this shit is that or whatever, and I had to explain him to him, and then he went off the fucking deep end, and now it's you heard gay. Nexus says, stream me lore. Alex and Dispatch hosted Danish police. After hitting number 2 place on the contest, Ralph went crazy. This happened before Doxville. When the Gunt moment happened, it was on DP in live time. Oh, Danish police in live time. The Gunt meme was born. Yeah, the streamy days were wild shit. I kind of missed that platform. It was fun. Andrew War Snowboard says, I work for a company whose policies run counter to what our customers like. As a head cashier, this makes my job really hard. Following policy makes customers mad, even though you definitively give good service. I need out. Wait, I don't know if you're talking about your actual job, which I think you are, but it also sounds like being a moderator on the channel, which you are, because it's like you can't win. You can't win.
I just try not to do anything. A porn bot pops in, they're gone. But otherwise, let the fuckery
Thank you.
commence. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I prefer. But Ghost 5103 says, "Hey man, please stop slow mode. It boosts ego of gay moderators and really pissed off fans. I love your stress and was willing to tolerate your slight on PPP stream." I don't know what that even means. "I guarantee people hate this new policy and it only strokes the e-peen of new mods." It's actually the opposite. The mods were muting people in their discretion, and I was constantly having to tell them, "Hey, like I didn't think that violated or whatever." So I have now arbitrarily created something, and mods basically exist to do what Tug says. Now, sometimes the mods are retarded and go beyond that, but that's, when you're dealing with people, that's what happens. But unfortunately, there's a bunch of broken people who, if you just cannot have, it's just a constant spam of the same thing. There are people who manage to be annoying with 10-second delays. It's amazing.
Right.
So Tina says, "Well, since you've been talking a little bit about Vic and Tug is on, I'm feeling nostalgic. So can I get a con sluts?" I'm sure the appeal will come back any day now. It's not like they can ignore it forever. They actually can ignore it forever. I mean, nothing is stopping them. But yeah.
I mean, that was an eye-opening experience, though. I mean, that's what got me stuck. I used to talk about I still talk about Hollywood hypocrisy some, but I got stuck in that due process mode because, man, I mean, this stuff, it matters. It does. We can laugh about, shit on the bed or this or that, but at the end of the day, it's not just this guy. It represents all of us, and especially as males. Men have unique issues. Right now, we're seeing people that used to, 2 years ago, if I said, "Hey, men's rights," I get buried for it. I may get kicked off platforms. Now you see overwhelming numbers of people saying, yes, there are issues that are exclusive to men, and we need to do something about it.
Yeah, and the Vic case was eye-opening because of how thoroughly they did it, how quickly they did it, and then how hard it is to undo. I mean, it's impossible to undo what was done, but even to get justice for what was done it's this monumental task. It takes a massive amount of money, time, and look at this. Let's say hypothetically Vic wins his appeal and then goes on to win. We're talking it'll be 3 years of complete destruction of his career the entire time, and he won't get it back, right? He'll just get some level of recompense for it if he wins, maybe. But he had to fight. At the same time, at some point you have to fight. In my opinion,
and beyond that, it showcases the need for, like you were talking about, independent journalism. Because if you look up Vic Mignogna, even during the fights, no one would bring you. They have a narrative. They stuck to the narrative, and it didn't matter what kind of just bold-faced fucking lie was thrown out there. They would not undo it.
Nope. No, even Anime News Network originally was using pictures and videos and stories of people claiming they were assault, and those people would come in and they would say, "Hey, that's my video. I wasn't assaulted. Everything was consensual. This was just a fun time at a convention in public. No one was harmed in any way." And what they did was just, they would maybe quietly remove it from the story. They wouldn't post an update. They wouldn't post a retraction. They would maybe quietly remove it. Otherwise, they just blocked the comments. It's amazing how they stuck that narrative, how they were able to do it. And of course, Anime News Network has an incestuous relationship with Funimation people, and it's the same ethics and ex journalism shit of Gamergate days, because they get access to a bunch of confidential shit through Funimation employees, and so they need to protect those assets. And they saw exactly how this was going to play out. In fact, I mean, they helped orchestrate it. So, yeah. Ghost 5103 says, "How much do I need to pay to stop slow mode?" Well, today it's not going to stop on this stream, but I'll consider it, Ghost. I will consider taking off slow mode in some future streams here and see how that goes. Okay, for you, I will do that, and you don't have to pay me a dime.
Oh
You, I mean,
no,
you
what are
already
you
have.
saying, Rackets? Come on, man. I was like, man, I was gonna say this is why I love you. Here you'll sell anything. And you're like, no, I'll do it for free. Fuck that. I did
Well,
not
you
do it.
already paid $70. I mean,
Oh, well, I guess.
it's like- but we'll see. But see, I might forget next stream, and so then you might have to remind me with a super
yeah.
chat. You know, Todd,
That's
come
it.
on,
I like
don't expose the grift here. Ponton21 says, Tug, what's the psychological profile of a person who doesn't want to have kids and leads a non-straight identity lifestyle, who makes other people's kids and pseudo-parenting those education their business?
The psychological profile. Remember, like, mental health is supposed to be about helping people, and there's two things that you need. First of all, you have part of that there. You have somebody that cannot societally function, but the second part of that is actually wanting help. So, what can I just say? They're fucked up individuals, because that we wouldn't, I would never see them to actually diagnose them or anything like that.
I think it was just Florida public school teacher was the answer, right?
Public school teacher. That's scary. We talk about what that is or isn't, and one of the it is hard to deprogram a kid, but it's even worse. Again, you want to feed them to a groomer. Oh God, man, that pisses me off so much.
Yeah, it's nasty. D says the coverage of this case by Tug and others has been very important for male victims of domestic violence. Happy you are going to cover the court case, Nick. You grift the shit out of it. I will. I will.
There'll be a lot of people too, and I keep saying on social media and everything else, I know that, all jokes aside, like, Nick actually understands the fundamentals of why these cases are important. So I don't care if everybody and their mama covers it, but I want people at the end of the day to to throw in that there are reasons, underpinnings, and they affect us all. And yeah, that's why I'm fully, like yourself, Flash. There are a handful of people I trust that know why the fuck this is so important.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been enmeshed in this shit for the past couple years, and watching all of us took a crash course in all of this, learned what's been going on. And it's like, oh my God. And people don't believe you if you try and tell them. And it's only when people get to experience it through something like the Vic case or something like a Rittenhouse. That was one of the most fun things of Rittenhouse, all the people saying, man, I can't believe the system failed in this way. It's like, no, this system fails all the time, right, in this way. It does this a lot for these types of issues. And we're about to see, this is going to be a real test. And the interesting thing will be the difference between how the media spins what's going on and what is actually happening in the court. I'm so thankful that there's going to be camera in that courtroom.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch that. I've already seen the spin. We saw it one time, but it will be interesting to see, like, when it's right there in front of you. Does that scare away some of them? How exactly does that? I don't know, man. I'm really hoping that we do see something change in the courtroom. At the same time, optimism. I'm not an optimistic person in this stuff. We've already seen it fuck up a few times, but I do hope that it changes.
Yeah, me too. Hashtag hot mess mom needs coffee says the judge in the Husel case did say murders instead of death. Jury not present nor corrected himself and gave legal advice to the state prosecutor. I have the clips on my YouTube daily. Judge not giving Husel a fair trial. Well, that's pretty interesting. What will probably happen, though, is the judge will probably not be removed from the case. It'll go on, and it'll only matter if Husel loses. But I'm really curious to see Baez's closing statements. Let's see. Okay. So let's, so yeah, Well, we'll see how that turns out. I think the Husel closing arguments are scheduled for Monday still, so I'm interested to see what happens with that. Are you familiar with that case at all, Tug?
I'm not. Like I said, I've
It's
been buried in one case, and it
Yeah.
consumes me.
It's a doctor in Colorado, and he was part of a hospital that was kind of janky, and he was providing comfort care for terminal patients, right? And the hospital had some bad press, and basically, and this is all documented in emails that were brought up in the opening argument. They basically, the hospital decided that they would throw this doctor under the bus as a PR thing. And so he got a bunch of murder charges. They were working with the state prosecutor and shit. It's gross. Like, it's a mess. But he by a lot of accounts, he looks like a nice guy, and they're trying to charge him with a bunch of murder. So it's been a messy case. But I haven't been able to watch it because too busy. But yeah, it's about to end, so we'll see how that goes. You know what time it almost is? Do you know, Tug?
I have
Do
no
you?
idea.
It's time for our daily unbreaded.
Oh man, yes. All right.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
You're okay with the daily unbreaded? I
Oh
hope?
hell yeah. That's I love that you crossed that into Flashcast one day too. Yes, I'm ready.
Oh yeah, that was the Flash is getting beer. He comes back. What the fuck are you doing? You can't say that. You can't say this shit. Flash is doing every night. Chill out. Okay, here we go. Let me get my random number generator here. I do not pay the mods. No, 17. Oh my gosh, that's an early page. I wonder if he'll be in his full unhinged flow yet. Yep. I just looked at it. Yep. It'll be good. Okay, here we go. Did you want to do any of the reading, Tug, or should I just handle it?
No, why don't you nail it? Because I love listening to you have the flow too, and all the bingers that you drop. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Here's this.
Unbreaded!
All right, so here we go. This is the Daily Unbreaded. For those of you who might be new to the channel, on the night streams, we read one page from the manifesto of a UCLA professor named Matthew Harris, who also threatened to murder the entire philosophy department of UCLA. That was separate from the manifesto. We take one random page out of this per day, and we read it at night. So this is from a black professor of philosophy with a doctoral degree at UCLA. So I'm just here to deliver the message. I'm the messenger. So this isn't me saying this. You can't be mad at me. It's a law. So here we go. You won't even be professional with me while I'm a professor just like you, but you're sucking a student's dick at a bar or a nightclub late nights on the weekend. You a hoe, not a professor. You out here fucking him on Friday nights at the bar for years and people liking it on Venmo like it's cute and laughing about it like it's funny. You sucking off the white rich student, Donald Trump grad student while you watch me get lynched. Who I suck off is no one's business. Yeah, it is. You are bribing your way through the academy with blowjobs to your students, literally scamming everyone when your shitty ideas block better ideas from. You should never have been giving that white man extra opportunities and attention and boosting his career while I was being mistreated. He was nutting in your whore mouth. You a whore, not a scholar. Why the fuck they want to give you tenure at UC Grapevine? Who you sucking for that job now to stay on the payroll? You racist bitch. I don't give a shit if you're from the Midwest. You teach about society, but you the racist. Fuck you. But you sucking off the white man while I'm getting lynched for being a genius. You help him get ahead by giving head. You are a white whore while I'm being mistreated. You ignore Binger Matthew Harris while I'm at a higher level than him. You don't respect me as an equal, but you were there sucking that little white man's dick to help him get ahead, even though I'm getting racially exploited and attacked. You go out of your way to get drunk with this student. You won't even talk to me about papers. You let the Binger Matt Harris get lynched. You out here sucking his dick and getting drunk. You out here getting drunk with him on the weekend nights at a bar. You judge me for not being able to open the door. Well, maybe if you hadn't been sucking off your student, I would have been able to open the door. Some would call that betrayal. If you hadn't been a slut, the door would have opened. Maybe you shouldn't have been sucking your student's dick and the door would have opened just fine. But I'm not allowed to give a 35-year-old white woman coffee when I'm 29, or the whole state of California has a meltdown, tells me to stop doing philosophy, tells me to stop the groundbreaking research I'm doing.
Powerful.
This has been our daily unbreaded. There it is.
If you would have put the black-faced lawyer garb on, that would have been amazing.
Then I wouldn't have to say Binger. Oh shit. Well, that was fun. So, okay, as a final recap of Depp, trial starts next week. It's going to trial. So here's why this is important, chat, because I don't know if I've impressed on this, why this matters so much. Defamation cases often are struck down at the pretrial level on technical issues. You didn't properly plead this. They couldn't have known it was false or whatever. All of that shit, all of the hard parts of defamation revolve around this idea that, especially with a celebrity like Johnny Depp, that Amber Heard had to know that she's saying a false thing. And not only that, but Johnny Depp has to show that she knew that she was saying a false thing. That's the biggest hurdle in defamation cases of public figures, is trying to somehow present to the court this idea that they knew it. Once you get past that and you go to trial, all that technical bullshit goes out the window. And now you're dealing with a jury. And it's one of the rare times where you really just want a jury, because it's easy for someone to understand. Lady says a bunch of shit to someone, ruins guy's life. That's an easy thing to figure out. But for judges, they get wrapped up in these very technical reviews of what's been presented and what happens and blah, 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 blah. You start putting this shit in front of a jury, the lies of Amber Heard. You put them on a big giant card. You say, here's what she said to this person. Here's how that impacted Johnny Depp's career. Here's what actually happened. And here's where you can tell it's a lie. You put that in front of someone and they go, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's kind of a simple thing to understand. And it's why so many people looking at these defamation cases that are getting dismissed prior to any of that happening are going, how is this not defamation? How is this actually not functioning in the way that it seems reasonable to? That this thing is going to trial. It cuts out all of that. It cuts all the legal bullshittery. And now you're just going and you're putting it before a jury and they get to say, yeah, this is messed up, or no, this is fine. And they get to do that. And that you just don't get to see that in high profile defamation cases very often. So that's why this matters. That's why this is going to be such a big ordeal.
I think seeing Warner Brothers too just take it on the chin it's been amazing to see a high profile company. Everyone that fired the man, they went along. They didn't realize that this would destroy two high profile multi-billion-dollar franchises. It's destroyed Fantastic Beast. It's damaging Aquaman. So their CEO, he was the trigger man, as well as his chairperson, fired. Everyone else fired when Discovery, when they merged. And like I said, it's been beautiful. Even more than that, they were going to drop, they knew that this was going to be so damaging that they were going to drop all the publicity for Fantastic Beasts, the new movie, on April the 15th. Not just the domestic release, but all of it, because they knew it would be, Johnny Depp, Fantastic Beasts. Well, they end up getting dragged into the courtroom they decide to move it to April the 6th, and then Ezra Miller comes along and says, "Hold my beer."
And these
That's
these
beautiful.
companies have been catastrophic shits for a while now, and so yeah, to see them get a little bit of fisting is a good thing.
Oh God,
It's
I
a
love
good
that,
thing.
man.
They need to be checked.
I hate this.
Um,
I like that's the one that I think all of us that cover this stuff, we don't subscribe to celebrity. I fucking hate celebrity. I like the idea of individual merit. We fucking hate these companies because again, they forgot what it's like to serve the customer, and oh yeah, seeing them get it anyway. Yeah, they'll see it all
HM's
play out. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
HM says mention how Dior, the perfume brand or whatever, stayed with Depp and sold out of Sauvage during last Christmas season. I had no idea
Not
about
even just
that,
that.
but
Okay, he had one advertiser stick with him, Dior, the Sauvage brand. They have become the number one selling cologne, and there's never in the history of this been a man's fragrance that has been the number one seller. So that's what you get there. It's astounding to see how much. I mean, they have made, oh God, the hundreds of millions of dollars off of that by sticking with the man.
yeah, and good,
Yep.
good. It's nice to see a company stick by someone for once until not. The important thing about all of these types of cases that we're seeing, Amber Heard didn't bring this before a court, and Johnny Depp's not criminally charged, even though the shit he's accused of is criminal, right? Like abuse, spousal abuse. That people go to jail for this stuff every day, but she didn't do that. And the reason that she doesn't do that is because it's not true. And that's the big problem with all this. And so but these companies will take the accusation and just drop it. And the way that they drop it is often intended to amplify the harm, not just be passive participants like, oh, we gotta quietly back away. No, they do something. They make a public statement. Well, we do not countenance or tolerate the abuse, the abuse of any person, blah, blah. And everybody knows who they're talking about because they just publicly fired someone and stepped away from them. And then they do what we were talking about earlier. You're now the face of abuse. And the only face of abuse out there should be ghetto gaggers and facialabuse.com. I mean, that should be the only face of abuse that anybody's ever subjected to. No one else should be the face of abuse because it's bullshit. Domestic abuse is a real issue that happens all the time. And the fact that they would try and pin this on someone for some sort of political play is fucking horrifying, in my opinion.
And remember, the police were involved in this. They actually were called to the last incident. 2 sets of police. So you have the first set. They come in. They couldn't tell. It's really telling when the second set of police go in. You can tell there's no issue. There's 2 women sitting on the couch, and the police don't know who to speak to. If someone has been violently beaten, you would know which one was going to file the claim. But there's nothing there. They said they've gone to court multiple times and said there is nothing there. So yeah, you had law enforcement speak. They spoke on behalf of Johnny Depp, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, it's it doesn't matter to these companies, but it matters to people. It matters to the people watching and looking at this going, this is wrong. And hopefully this trial will be a good catalyst for that. Horowitz, Feinberg, and Horowitz says, I'm glad I can have my unbreaded with rackets show and my sexy toast with Tug. Fun times. Fun times indeed. Do you sell sexy toast now?
Yeah, that's when that's part of my intro when I play on my channel.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, let's see. I think I don't know about you. I'm dying tonight. Super tired.
Yeah.
But I was going to read, I've got a bunch of super chats to read through. So I was going to do that, but was there any other subjects you wanted to hit before we go? I mean, what else are you looking at these days, man? What are we talking about?
I've been buried in that, man. I mean, seriously, I've been gearing up for this for a year and a half. That's the one fucking thing. I've been just like the Vic case. I've been absorbed, by that. And again, because alternate industry, create an alternate industry, create an alternate for these alternatives for these fucking companies, and make sure that that this, you talk about it, ad nauseum, because people do need to understand it. There's a lot of people out there, even right now, there are a lot of people that don't even realize there was another trial. They don't realize that this is going to go live because, again, media doesn't talk about it. So
No, they'll the media they won't talk about it honestly, and then when it pops up, they'll cover it like roaches. And I love how media covers these trials now. They literally do nothing. They just air them, which is good and bad, but it's amazing what they claim from it. I'm going to stop talking about my personal issues with certain networks like Law and Crime. But yeah, so they'll do it, but they don't want this narrative to get out of control, and that'll be fun because I think there'll be some potential. I'm going to try and make the narrative go out of control. I want to ruin something with this. That's what I want to do.
Me too. Yeah.
Are you going to be streaming any of the trial stuff at
I'm
all?
I'm gonna stream some. It's 6 weeks of trial. I have a day job,
Yeah.
so I'm not. I'm gonna send people either like to yourself, or I'm gonna, if I'm not around, I will do like at 5:30, 5 to 5:30 PCT. I'll do why is this relevant here? Because again, it's been a year and a half looking through documents. I want to see how that fits in, and to talk about the evidence. And she submitted 90 something pages of just evidence titles, so there'll be a lot of shit in there to try to wade through. But no, I'll cover some, but I'm going to push everybody this way when I'm even when I'm doing that. Again, I'm talking about something different. You cover law, you explain it from a different route. So,
Well, there will
people can
also
come
be
there.
jokes and comedy.
Fuck that, man. Well, then people don't need to. No, I'm just kidding.
No, there's going to be we're going to see what happens. That's the main thing. But I was going to say, if there are ever any days, I'll be sending you invites. So
Okay. Yeah. Just, I don't know if I really want to stream as much, and if you're going to, if you want to drop invites, then I may just fuck off and come over there, and that way, I don't know. I liked what you did with the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff, and I don't want to fight people for streaming. Again, that's not the point here. I like the clicks, I like the growth, but at the end of the day, I like to wake up freaking like you had 100,000 people there. I mean, if people see that, I would much rather us all be on the same side and pushing that together.
Well, we'll see. I have the Rittenhouse trial was this magical thing, and
I think this will be big, man.
I think this will be too. But we'll see. So I'll be streaming happily. If you're streaming, I'll make sure people know that they can check it out over there too. And if you want to pop over on my channel, you'll be welcome on any of the shows. I'm breaking the rules for you. For you.
God, yes.
My lawyer only rule.
Normally you just invite lawyers, but
for the trial stuff, I like I was trying to do that for Rittenhouse and stuff, is just kind of keep it to just lawyers. Sure. But that's because part of the reason was because we were filling up the panel so much.
Yeah.
But you've been enmeshed in this thing for so long that it's like, no, I got to have tug on if this is going. So
like if you're dropping that, you just hit me up beforehand. That way, like I said, I don't, even if I am streaming again, no ill will on that. Hey, people watch what they want. I know like your coverage will be solid, but yeah, just hit me up, and joining forces on it might actually be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Was there anything else? Oh yes, for the degenerates in the chat. Yes, allegedly Flamenco's crazy pornography folder or whatever got doxxed or something. I don't know. I think he went on Kino Casino to talk about it. You can check it out. I'm sure it's been clipped to hell. But but yeah, if you're into that side of the internet, someone also asked, I think it was Death Wish asked when the Medicare stream will be next week. Well, I don't know. I asked Jim to DM me on Twitter so that I can actually finalize and set it up. And hopefully it'd be Monday or Tuesday night. Oh, excuse me. But I have to have a way to actually talk to Jim. I had him on DMs on my old Twitter account, but that got yeeted a long time ago. So it's been a long time since I've had him on the show. But as soon as I can set that up, I will absolutely do that. But and then the other thing is, was there something else? No, not really. that's what's going on, man. It's the end of the week, and I am.
You sound dead to the world, man.
Dude, I'm done. Someone's like, "Oh, Nick's gonna play Elden Ring tonight." I'm actually not. I really, really fucking want to, and I know once the Depp trial starts up, I'm gonna have troubles getting Elden Ring time in. But I'm gonna play some. I'll play some tomorrow during the day, probably, and maybe even tomorrow night after Flashcast, after 17 hours of Flashcast.
Okay.
But
No,
yeah,
Flash is going to keep it short this time. That's what it'll tell us behind the scenes. You know, it's going to be a short Flashcast. It's only going to be like 2 hours, and then everybody gets fucking sloshed, and it's beautiful. I love that fucking show. I love Flashcast, man.
oh, it's such a fun disaster. That guy from that thing says, "Does he still edge guard like a little bitch?" What is edge guarding, and who's he talking about? I don't know what that means. But anyway, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and if you're game to stick around through super chats, great. If you have to go, let me know. I mean,
I'll stick around for a minute. And let me say thanks too. When you guys mentioned the people for backing the project, they got it within $106 of 89K. I mean, we've been moving. We got 2 days to change left, and you.
No, you're crossed $89,004. I just checked.
Shit. Oh man, we just so I was saying that. So I mean, we moved. I don't know. It's amazing to see what we can do with this stuff again, and it's life changing. I won't deny that stuff. You know, my kids, I've been able to put money back for their futures. We've been able to upgrade our life. You know, again, mental health doesn't pay a lot of money, so all of this stuff, like it's been there, and I appreciate the hell out of the people who backed us.
That's awesome, man. I love seeing your success on this stuff. Oh, so edge guarding is from Smash Bros. Do I play it? Like very passively and rarely I'll play, but I played the shit out of the original Smash Brothers. I think I was the first national tournament. It took place at the Mall of America. I just missed the top 3. My buddy, I think my buddy won it. He's number 1. In the first Smash Brothers tournament. He's probably in like some fucking Twin Galaxies book or whatever. But yeah, so I used to play a lot of Smash Brothers. I'm not saying I was particularly good. There weren't that many people at the tournament. It's kind of an inside running joke. And my buddy's the national champion. But yeah, but these days I don't have time to play it. And I'm also bad at it now because I always played Falcon. And Falcon is black. I mean, they try and pretend that Falcon's a white man, but if you watch him run, he's clearly black. He runs across the whole stage in like 1 second. I always just fall off the edge. So there you go. So I had to switch to Ganon because he's slow enough for me to actually maneuver. Were you a GoldenEye Maverick, Nick? No, I never really played GoldenEye that much. Tyrannigas says national champion of 17 people. Literally, yeah. It was that funny. It was so great. But he's in the book. Okay, here we go. Wolfgang Deo says, could you do a toast to my childhood neighbor's mom's sister who died recently? Martha is who I know, and she is in Mexico for her sister's funeral. Martha? Why did you say that name? I guess your childhood neighbor's mom's sister who died recently. Yeah, just a moment. Here you go. To Martha and the passing of her sister. Always frustrating and troubling to lose a sibling, but hopefully they had a long life together, and she will have many fond memories. So, cheers. Wolfgang says, also, I feel sick with a bad cold. Just notice it. Hope it is really just smoker's cough and not illness. Haha, stressful last month. Prayers, Nick.
Hey Nick, were you wanting to look at that that lawsuit thing, or are you going to save that for another day? I forgot to mention that again.
Which lawsuit thing?
Flash sent you over. You know the.
Should we pull that up real quick? That's a good idea.
It's a mess. You know, it's funny.
Let me grab it here. What the fuck? Do you get the thing on Twitter where it like sometimes doesn't show your message history?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you've never messaged anybody before. Actually, I get it where it doesn't show that certain people, I think that, Twitter doesn't like. I won't even see that they've sent messages, period. They won't even pop up in my message stuff for like days. Maybe they'll message me like, 7 or 8 times, and the 8th time I'll notice, hey, there was a message from this person. Yeah.
So Flash, he sent me 2 clipped screenshots.
He doesn't have
So let me pull up the actual document. I've got it.
Okay.
Somewhere. Where is it? Poulter versus Asif. Yeah. Docket report. Oh, I'm just pulling it up on Pacer right now. Wait, when was this supposedly filed?
I don't know, if a week ago, maybe. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly.
No, I mean, this hasn't been filed.
Well, he definitely put it in because there was a big shit show about it. It became a lot of laughter, a lot of fun. So,
where did it? I wonder when he filed this. The most recent filing is a scheduling order on the 4th of April. 1st of April has a status report filed by Preston. There's an order granting the unopposed motion to extend Rule 26F deadlines from the magistrate judge. Motion to extend time by John Lamont. Motion for default judgment against Vicky. Yeah, I don't know what document this is from.
yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find it real fast. I don't know if I have it in I laughed at it, and I don't know if I kept it around. So,
yeah. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I have no idea what document this would be. So it filed by, here we go. No, that was the motion to dismiss. That was docket number 26. That was back on August of 2021. So that's not it. I wonder if it's not on Pacer yet.
Maybe not. I saw it on Kiwi where people were chopping it up and laughing about it, and they responded to it. So it was definitely filed there. But
yeah. Here, I'm gonna let's see. Is there anything? Dean is refusing to donate the GoFundMe money to the Institute of Free Speech, despite claiming to be well within his Second Amendment right when he called a man a pedophile. He's now acting like an amateur lawyer.
I like that statement. The Second Amendment rights. I love it.
Yeah. So I have those. I just don't know what document they're from in context. I'll pull them up real quick, though. Open image. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I wonder. I'll have to figure out what this is from. But here's the, so here it is. This is from some filing. Defendant Ali Dean Asif made statements about John Lamont, which were obviously opinion statements. The statements made by defendant Asif were well within his Second Amendment right. The statements were actually attached to bullets. That's what he's talking about there. Furthermore, the only person Asif made a statement about was John Lamont, who lives in Florida. The only one who made any kind of remark about Preston Poulter, whether defamatory or not, has been dismissed from this case. So defendant who presides, he presides in California, who made opinion statements about a man in Florida, finds it confusing that Texas is still the place where this lawsuit is being held. I think this is from his old filing.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh, I didn't read it then because I was like, oh my God, his Second Amendment. Yeah, I've heard of bullet points, but damn, son,
Yeah, there's a lot wrong in this very short paragraph. Look, that just reinforces the idea. Dean and Vicky made a critical error not joining with Ethan on the motion to dismiss. And they're paying the price. Ethan's out of the lawsuit. They should be, I think based on how defamation is done, they should be out of the lawsuit too. I don't find their statements to be particularly defamatory. I think they're opinions that people could come to based on the subject matter of the book and how the book is presented. And that was done by John Lamont and Preston Poulter. Mm-hmm. So, but now they'll have to deal with the fallout. The one thing Vicky, like, unless Vicky's lying, which lots of speculation that Vicky is completely lying. If she was actually not properly served and she can get that order vacated, and it can end up costing Preston a lot of money to lose on that. That's the interesting thing with it. But,
he's asking for that default of $711,000. So that's a huge fucking gamble that you might be able to win in the end,
Well, but default judgments are weird. If you were not served, right? Like, you'll get a default judgment, but then you just go, I wasn't served. I don't live there. Here's where I actually live. They did not serve me under this. And then the default judgment gets vacated. I mean, and it's pretty easy to vacate them if you can explain why you didn't answer in the lawsuit. Because you have no duty to be served. You have no duty to help the person serve you or anything like that. So it's entirely on them. The thing with that is he can get that piece of paper. He can get a default judgment, and he can even get the judgment recognized and try and go for enforcement of it. And at that point, he'll have to serve her again. And if he's not serving her at the right place, it won't do him any good to try and enforce it. There's nothing to enforce if he's not serving. Now, if she's lying and she actually was served, like if her mom lives there and she lives there and just wasn't home or whatever, but her mom accepted the service, that's a whole different ball game, right? Like, and then she's fucked. So we'll see how that goes. All right, let's do the rest of these. Real Hydro PX. If someone threw a Molotov cocktail and I happen to catch it, can I throw it back, or is that murder? That would probably not fall under self-defense because the threat had passed. Unless they had another Molotov cocktail in their hand, like they had a second one, you could then say maybe you could throw the first one back. But no,
you reflex. You grabbed it and just tossed it away, and it hit.
Right, like Jack Burton.
Yeah, there you
go. Molotov them back. Yeah, no, it's a weird thing when the encounter is over. It's over. Like if someone punches you in the face at a bowling alley, for example, hypothetical, and then that person walks off and is grabbed by like 4 people, and then you walk over maybe 20, 30 seconds after being punched, and the person's being pinned down, and you start kicking them while they're down. That's assault. That's a criminal act. You don't get to do that. You're no longer defending yourself. Like a weird hypothetical, I know, but that's that. It's happening with Harper. Says, my hubby is military and goes above and beyond to not ever be alone with a female, just to avoid any false accusations, just in case. Sad that he has to worry. Yep. No, I I get it. It's why I bring my wife with me when I travel as much as possible.
I don't. We used to train people, like new therapists, like have them come in and shadow, and I will not do that. I won't do it anymore because you have to close the door with them, and nope, I'm not gonna do it ever again.
Yep, it's a mess. But yeah, the Mike Pence rules are good. It's a good thing to adopt for men. Just protect yourself. Sorry, ladies. That's how it's got to be. But for me, I try and bring my wife anywhere that I go. One, I like her. Two, I don't need that shit. Omega says drunk wife needs to know where you got your hoodie. This hoodie, so I'm gonna confess something here. I no longer buy clothes for me. Instead, I have a service called Stitch Fix, and they just send me clothes like every couple months. They send me 5 things, usually like 2 pairs of pants or shorts and 3 shirts, sometimes 2 and 2 and a pair of shoes. I think I got it from them. So I don't go shopping anymore for clothes ever. It's so much fucking easier. And I think a lot of people would do well to eliminate that annoyance from their life if they can.
Most, I don't know many men who are like, yeah, let's go shopping for clothes. Fuck all that.
Yeah, you don't pay for it. Well, I do pay for it. It's like each shipment, it's like $160 or whatever. And like I said, you tend to get two nice pairs of pants or shorts, 3 shirts. And the best part about Stitch Fix, actually, like not here shilling their product, but I wear a medium tall shirt for long sleeves. That is an impossible to find size. Medium tall, but they have them. All of the long sleeve shirts they send me are medium tall, which means they actually fit my arms and my pathetic shoulders at the same time. So it's great. So I think Omega, I got it from Stitch Fix. But yeah. Dalu, welcome to Paralegal Status. The other best part about Stitch Fix, let me tell you guys this. All my kids are on Stitch Fix. So I don't have to go clothes shopping for children ever again. Ever again. If you know how much time I have spent in fucking Gymboree and Oshkosh and all of these like Gap Kids or whatever kids clothing stores, all I want to do is drive a bullet into my brain during that. I don't have to go there ever again. Once a month, a box comes for each kid. And then they get to open it. And kids get 10 things in their boxes. It's great. Holy shit. It's wow. Okay, anyway, next. Crusader Saracen says, how long till Jada gives Will the Depp treatment? Dude, it's looking worse and worse for Will Smith by the day. And
it already looked like that. When I saw that, I thought, man, I'm going to make a video. Jada the next Amber Heard. I can smell it now.
Yeah. And, well, Will deserve that.
Yeah.
Will needs to divorce Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yes.
That's what he needs to do.
Well, I mean,
she is a nasty person.
Yeah, I mean, you saw well before her reaction to what happened with Chris Rock and all of that shit. Yeah, what she put him through, fuck, and she has ruined that man. He's still a beloved entity out there, but he's a mocked beloved entity.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel bad for men that get in situations like that because it's easy to understand. They get into these situations again. It's abuse isn't just if this were a female, you would have people calling that out as mental abuse. And she very much has mentally abused him and manipulated him.
Yeah. Oh man, like what she's been doing to him lately is just nasty. Like it's ugliness. But yeah, I mean, he's got to get out of that situation Or else he, I guess, deserves it. I don't know. It's not like he doesn't have the resources.
It's
And it's
hard to
not
get
like
away from
Jada is
manipulators. Oh, go
it's
ahead.
not that like Jada is particularly loved and adored. Like people like Will Smith. Jada is fine. Right? Like that's like the perception I would take, like not recently, but up until maybe 5 years ago, people really liked Will Smith. And then Jada Pinkett Smith was there.
Right.
Is how I always felt about it.
It's hard. The one thing about letting someone into your life is they learn all of your all of your weaknesses, all of your flaws. They know how to push your buttons. That's how they keep you in abusive relationships, you know. So it's easy to say, yeah, you need to fucking walk away, and hopefully there's somebody there that will push him out the door. But somebody like her, you know, you cut them off from. She's cut him off from the world and been like, yo, I'm going to sleep with this dude over here. You're going to like it. I'm going to ruin your social media presence. You're going to like it. Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah. Let's see. Ulashed1 says, here's 5 for keeping the biggest authoritarian commie to ever screw over free speech. Soder. Yeah, some fucking drama happened in the Discord. Look, guys, I fucking hate everything. I hate all you mods. I hate all the mods on Discord. I hate everybody. All of you equally. I hate everybody. I don't understand, Tug. I don't understand how any of this is at all difficult ever. Like it doesn't make sense. Never mind. I could do 40 hours of ranting on this subject, and I will not. Hanging Right Nut says, can you explain a life sentence? Does it mean you are locked up till you die, or 15 years? And why do they call it life if it's not? It depends on the state. In Wisconsin, for example, if you do first-degree murder, the sentence is life without the possibility of parole. So you will die in prison. You will, like, that is how that goes.
I hope you die in prison as well.
That's what happens with first-degree murder in Wisconsin. Some places, life sentence means 30 years. I don't know why that's the case, but that's just how it goes. So in some cases, you can get a life sentence and get out. But it depends on the state.
Is discretionary life, is that, I saw that given to someone in, I think, the UK. Is that something that people in the US are given as well? Because I'd never heard, discretionary life. Hey, a judge can decide if you're going to stay there for life or not.
Yeah, I mean, in the US, I don't know how the UK works, but in the US, typically a judge can sentence you to life. I mean, as long as it's within the guidelines for that have been established, or whatever rules the particular state has for sentencing. Usually it's not like, well, you ran that red light, here's life sentence, because I think so. But I think discretionary life is probably just non-mandatory, right? Like, so we have mandatory minimum sentences in some things. Like in Wisconsin, again, first-degree murder is like that is the sentence that you get. There's no discretion there. But for lower levels of murder, they may be able to give life in prison, but there would be the possibility of parole typically.
There was a giant false accusation case, like a crazy one, and this lady, I mean, she faked a kidnapping. Her name was, I think it's Aisha Ahmed, and she was in a relationship with a married dude. She found out he was married, tried to destroy his life, then faked sending threats and other shit to herself. She got caught, so she screams rape. The police actually arrest him. They arrest him once for the mail, then they arrest him again after she screams rape. They let him go, so she fakes a kidnapping. She even stabs herself in it. They arrest him again, and then afterwards they gave her discretionary life, which they reduced to only 10 years. So, yeah.
Wow. Someone said Theodore Edgecombe got 25 years and he might be out on parole in a few. Let me quickly correct that. Wisconsin has true sentencing. This is someone sent this to me. So when you get 25 years in Wisconsin, you get 25 years. That's what he will actually serve 25 years in prison outside of an appeal or something like that happening. Some sort of unforeseen event. He'll be in. So just wanted to clear that up. Daft End says turning 32 this week. So word to the turning 31s. It's like turning 30, but a little easier. You got this, Kings. Legitimately, every year in your 30s, in my opinion, gets better. The men have this weird thing where we appreciate as we age, and your 20s and early 30s can really kind of be shitty because people don't pay attention to you and they don't care what happens to you and they don't want to hear your ideas. But then as you like somewhere in your 30s, depending on where you are and what the audience around you is, people start listening. And so it's an interesting time of your life. A big changes happen. Yorick says, check Twitter DMs. I sent a 21-second soundboard. Where the fuck? Where did my Twitter DMs go? God, everything's a disaster. Here it is. Is Yorick? Ricada soundboard. Oh, okay. Here, yeah. Well, let me play this real quick. It's very important. I need to post this on Twitter. Have you used the clip feature on YouTube, Tug?
I never have, no.
So you can like clip out live like sections of live streams and share the clip, and it'll also have a link to the full video for people. And it's I was talking to YouTube today. It's made so that you can actually just easily share bits of live streams on social media for advertisement. It's crazy. So here's one from Here's one from yesterday. Not yesterday, 2 days ago, I think. Here we go, guys. Like you close your eyes and then you're like, life is an ass to eat. Everyone must tongue my hole. I hear you lick my ass and it feels like
Oh my
home.
God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Like you. There you go, guys. So that's a clip feature right there.
I particularly enjoyed the oh my God.
Oh. Ghost 5103 says switching to EVS stream over slow mode. Thanks for caring, Nick. Later. Cynthia Cottney says Tug, turn up your volume. Wink. Snuggle Struggle says fight, flight, freeze. Depp chooses flight. Amber Turd chooses fight. Depp couldn't protect Turd from her own monster, her own anger and vanity. Cynthia Cottney says, check out the audio Tug references on Incredibly Average. I don't know what audio that was.
Well, that was the Tell the World, that I was talking about. Tell the world you're a victim of. Yeah, that's a statement that she ends up having recorded in the channel Incredibly Average. That's one of the things. Yellow Flash, actually, he was like, stop fucking around online, loser, and look at this case. So that was my first introduction to the case. But after that, Incredibly Average,
From one Adam 2024 says, I think Depp thought he could save or change her. Maybe white knight syndrome on his part. Who knows? Matrix Tech, welcome to super lawyer status. Anon Hamster, welcome to paralegal status. Thank you guys for joining. John Jelaine says, this is coming out of Good Logic's lunch money. Ooh, thank you. Al Be Real says, during Run Diary filming, my reserve unit came across them. Depp wouldn't come out of his trailer. Wonder if Amber lies since day one. Whole thing seemed weird. K-Rab says, Minamata came out today. Oh, that's the Depp movie, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bon Necron 444 says, I used to think Amber Heard was hot until I heard that she literally shit the bed. Not sexy.
Yep.
Reformed Convict says, Tug, I'm a Southern Appalachian, but Virginia hillbilly bro. Bond Neocon 444 says, we used to have the concept of hysteria, which became moral panic. Call it what you want. We are awash in it. Thanks, media. Melissa Case, my bro been in and out of a coma, losing his fight, body shutting down. Cheers to my brother, Justin Case. And feel free to joke about his name. I always have. Oh, damn it. For just a second, I thought it was a troll, and they're like, no, feel free to make fun of it. Here, I'll give him a little toast. Give him a little toast. Since I'm going to go to bed anyway, might as well.
So
Might as well have a little more whiskey, right?
I've been drinking along with it. I'm like, all right, yeah, this is.
Yeah. So here we go to just in case he is able to get past his coma. We wish him all sorts of recovery, and if he is not, if he does succumb to his ailments, then we wish his family only fond memories and good times, and cheer knowing that he is away from the waffling struggles between pain and unconsciousness. So cheers to him, and may we pray for his recovery. Bond Necron 444 says, I propose a shot for my favorite Met Art model, Sabrina D from Ukraine. Hope she is safe and happy somewhere. Why? Wait a minute. Why do I? Oh, damn. I cannot pull this up on stream. So, okay. All right. Well, there you go. I thought that might be that to Sabrina D. Whoo. Be safe, girl. Lieutenant Hughes says back tugs comic nosed crew show out and payout. Bond Necron says I also propose a shot for another hot med art model, Veronica with a K from Russia. Hope the sanctions aren't having an adverse effect on those amazing cans. Jonathan Sweet says, wanted to see if things changed after Musk and Twitter. Called Romney a binger on Twitter 3 times, got banned. I just want those old times back. Me too. Me too. DJD Show says, say y'all in a tug voice. Yeah. Hey, y'all. That umbrella guy here. Congratulations on your success. 150,000 subs and all those great books.
Thank you.
Very cool, man.
Yeah, we just passed that 150K. Awesome stuff, man. Everybody that I've known, you know, all of us, it's been amazing to see the growth of it. I'm happy for everybody, man. Everybody, you know, we.
Yeah. It's wild because like it like cycles through, like someone will just boost up and then someone else will boost up and then it's and it just keeps growing. And all I can think of is when does this all collapse into the disaster that it is?
I think a lot of it is, you know, we've all been cycling. When it cycles through that, we are cycling together. It sounds like fucking menstruation. We're all cycling together.
Oh,
you know?
thank God.
Yes, we got it attuned. No, I think it's because you know, we all live stream together and goof off, and when one of us is falling out of favor, you know, it takes 2 months to get back into the favor. Somebody else, it's their turn. So
yep. Oh, dude, I've been dealing with that the past several weeks. It's in the YouTube decides to make you lose subs mode. It's like, oh, thank you. This is great. So then, like, I'll gain them up and then lose them back, and then gain them. You know, it's like, come on. Bond Necron 444 says, I used to practice family law in the 90s. I told myself, don't ever put yourself at the mercy of this system. Hence, I never got married. Yeah. I don't know how you get married after practicing family law, and I don't know how you practice family law when you are married. I only did a few family law cases for friends, and I hate it. The Argonath says 4,000 watching at 1 a.m. Most impressive. See Goody says, I'm itching to hammer spammers again. It's been too long. I'd ultimately have to ban hammer you, Goody. That'd be it. Ghost 5103. He did send a message and it was retracted, but he was explaining the slight, the perceived slight, and he asked me about the Queen James Bible or something like that during the PPP stream. Sorry, I don't remember the full context of your question here, and I certainly don't remember it from the PPP stream, but thank you for explaining. Allegan News says Depp has massive drug problem, yet has money in the bank for this case. Hunter Biden blows through money with his drug use, needing to turn art money laundering to pay his tax bill. Art the Clown says 3 cheers for Nick, the profane narrator, high tug, and justice for Johnny Depp. DJD Show joins at the paralegal level. Thank you. Lethal Burrito says hard bastard live stream tomorrow night, y'all. Bad Dragonite says, Nick, I met someone who has you beaten on number of kids. Coworker had his 19th recently. Said it's because he's an Indian and he don't believe in BC, in birth control. There you go. 19 kids. A lot. That's a lot of kids. Crusadist Viewing says that's genius. They bought in so cheap and pop and the pop it'll get when he wins. Smart marketing over there. Probably at Dior. Poorly redacted. When dogs lick their privates, nobody cares. But the minute I do it, everybody freaks out and I get kicked out of the dog park. Yes. Timberwolf Sniper. Yes. Nick and Tug keep me sane while I ink. The brain goblins have me captive. Lieutenant Hughes says, congrats, Tug. I made sure to push in chat. Heart. See Goody. Ricada Law, can I do anything about this Jonathan Burton fucktard? He's been, how do you get fucktard through a super chat? I can't get any words in a super chat. He's been spamming, reeing the same message in caps all fucking day and night. I know he's just, look, he's retarded and it's not his fault. His mom made him smell farts from jars for her OnlyFans. I mean, you can't do this. You can't. See Goody. Come on, don't judge. Nick's Hex says, have you heard of this new comedian, Jim Gaffigan? He does a hilarious routine about Hot Pockets that I know you'll love. No, I've never heard of him, but I hope he dies of blood cancer. Caligula says, I only hate the humans on planet Earth. William Barnes, remember hitmen are always cheaper than divorces. Get your money's worth. And he also says, hold on while I bring this fool in. Your name isn't Buttfucker 3000, you yahoo. That's the single best moment from the court live streaming that happened during COVID. And then finally, Radicalized Ryan, Radicalized Ryan sent a coin comment over on Odyssey. Thank you. And Rady to Kill says, I'm glad I had actual sane teachers who only taught until high school. I had no idea about homosexuality. I live in Oregon, by the way. We never talked about that shit when I was in school.
No, no, we never had that ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. That's it, man. I think it's a good time to wrap up.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. Getting me kind of caught up on this case. I gotta still do a lot more prep work before Tuesday, but I'm looking forward to streaming this thing.
Yeah, man. I mean, we could have gone through a timeline, but a lot of people, they'll get the timeline when they go into the courtroom. I think it's more important to understand why it is important. So yeah.
Talking about the issues, the timeline is going to be laid out. Oh, excuse me. It may be laid out in opening statements, even depending on how they decide to go about it. But
there's a site, ifod.net/thetruth. If you want to see the accusations, you want to see, you want to know the players, you want to actually just see how it all lays out. I'll send you a link to that too. It has the court documents laid out. Again, it has the players, so you know who these fucking people are. If they're mooching off of him, they're living rent free, what side, and it shows you the pictures that go along with it. Like, I had somebody break my nose, black my eyes, bust my lip, but I went on the James Corden show the next day, and there weren't any marks on me. And by the way,
it was really good.
So I mean, it lays it out pretty well.
Yeah. Seek the Light. Did I get my box? Did your bottles make it? Are you talking? Are you the guy who sent the Kentucky Owl? If you are, yes. And I got your email and I need to respond to you. If you're not talking about the Kentucky Owl, then I'm not sure. Unless you're, are you the guy who sent the, the Cajun box, Seek the Light. I've got the Surzak Rye right here. I've got this sounds disgusting. The King's Cake vodka. That sounds horrifying. Thank you. But I really appreciated the beans, the red beans and rice. I'm going to make red beans and rice very, very soon. Yeah, I got it. Thank you so much. I unboxed it on Twitch stream the other day. But thank you. Yes. And I got all the Zatarans that needs to go up into my kitchen. But, and CC, yes, I got the 3D prints that I can't eat off of. Yes. That's the one that you sent. Yep. I opened that on Twitch the other day. I gave that bag of dicks to Lady Rackets. I said, here you go. Have a bag of dicks. So, all right. Guys, one last plug. Go check out Tug. You can check out his channel. He's linked in the description. If you click on that umbrella guy, it'll take you right to his page. Other than that, definitely check out his book on Indiegogo. It's the third book. The other two books were delivered. They were delivered on time. This is a guy who actually fulfills his projects, which is a huge thing with independent creation. And he's a credit to that independent creation. So go check that out if you are inclined into comic books. And if you're not, but you'd still like to support an independent creator, do the charity option and buy two kids a comic book. So that's really cool. So, all right. Anything else, Tug?
Nope. That's it, man.
Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. And I'll see you tomorrow over on Flashcast.
Yeah. I'm going to save my liver for tomorrow.
Oh yeah. It's a disaster. Oh, and Cynthia Cotney says, proud to be one of Tug's thugs. Good stream. Oh, one last thing for the chat. I see some talk about my 3090 Ti that I haven't installed yet. And like, oh, it's a 600 watt card. And people are like, oh man, make sure your PSU is big enough and your power supply. Oh my gosh. But when I built this computer live on Twitch, you motherfuckers made fun of me for buying a 1500 watt power supply. They're like, stupid boomer. You're buying way more power than you'd ever need. Joke's on you, cocksuckers. I have plenty of wattage. I put two of these fucking things in. Yeah. Sorry. There. I had to get that off my chest, Tom.
Good thing.
All right, man. I'm going to play the outro. And guys, I will see you tomorrow. I'll be on Twitch tomorrow during the daytime, probably. Until then, y'all have a good night. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some lost-plaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed, make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an odd bag of Balmore and Lafroig, the spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter, as we hear lost planning tonight. From the white shores of Nam to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed, to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Dante to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea, post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the wide shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no